Welcome everyone to Perfect Read episode. Wow, I can't believe I actually already forgot. What are we on? 9?
Nine.
Yeah, we're not even in like the hundreds yet, and I'm like, ugh, the old age is getting to me. Can't count past 5. But here we are with episode 9, and we have a very special guest joining us this week, Shyo Wager. How's it going?
Good. Didn't have enough chaos on the podcast, so I'm here to add to the glorious takes that you guys have. But I've been a fan. I've been watching. I like the analytical spin on everything, less than the zany takes. So it's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm like still a little afraid about today's episode because listen, I generally
I'm
feel
prepped.
pretty good about like handling anyone on my panels. Shyo has probably been the biggest challenge I've ever faced in my hosting career in 15 years of hosting, but in a good way. It's been fun. Yeah, it's been a good challenge. Komodo, how have you been?
I've been good. I've been absent and away, just like Valorant has from anyone globally right now. I think a lot of us have been missing it if you aren't following anything in challenges. For instance, I know like NA challenges have been going on. We've had a couple of little things pop up here and there, but I missed tier 1 Valorant. It's been a while and I'm losing my mind a little bit, so I want it back already.
Yeah, I saw you tweet also just about like, not casting as much anymore and that kind of
Yeah.
hitting you in reality now, right? Now that some time has passed. So yeah, I can see that. You mentioned Challenger Shyo, you've been casting that. How has that been?
Yeah, I've been casting a bunch of NA challengers. It's been really fun watching these teams just get better. I feel
Nice.
like as well. I feel like this new patch and like understanding all these comps a bit more. Like we're just coming into a map switch as well a little bit, and like everything's kind of settling down. So rosters are finalizing a bit more. The biggest thing for tier 2 is that like everybody keeps getting picked up into these tier 1 squads, but now that like play-ins is coming, you have a little bit of leverage now to stay together as a team across the whole world. So you're seeing much like more focused gameplay in tier 2, which is nice.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, today what we're going to talk about is I know there's been, lots of roster news and reports and leaks and all that across the globe, but what we want to talk about is we've also had like actual concrete news in the game. And we touched upon it last week. Obviously, the new map summit just came out. It's now in rotation. Hopefully, anyone who's watching and listening has had a chance to check it out. Very beautiful map. Very pretty. But we want to talk everything about Summit. So we'll talk about our experiences with the game. We'll talk about, agent kind of priority. And then also maybe a couple ideas on what we think would be good team comps or at least good ideas to tinker with, whether it's in your own games or tier 1. So before we jump into the deep end of it, have both of you gentlemen had a chance to play Summit?
Yeah, I have. I've played it on my main account. I've played it with a couple of friends, jumping around on like. For reference, I never ever played Duelist. That's like a thing that I do, but I've kind of been forced by my friend group now. They're like, make a new account and play Duelist on it, and I'm like, it hurts, but they just want me to, and I do. And I actually have been enjoying playing some Duelists on this map, so it gives me a different perspective in it. I've had a fair amount of games actually on it in this last week.
Really? Oh, look at you. Shai. What about you?
There was an early access creator event for North America. I played
Right.
like 3 hours the first day, Theorycraft like 3 more hours after that, and then 5 hours of full Summit games the next day, and then ranked as well in the new act. A lot of Summit has actually for the first day 10 hours no Summit. Next day a lot of Summit. So Summit's been it's been in and out like an official play, but I've played a bunch like with a bunch of other creators and like more competitive lobbies, less competitive lobbies. It's been a good time.
Nice.
Did you guys have it where, like, because I was in the creator thing as well, and I played it on the Wednesday night, I think it was, but the map came out, like, the next day they announced it after Masters or something. So this instance of, like, the creator early access event wasn't actually, like, an early access, because everyone could play it live, like, almost straight away. So
Do you guys usually have that happen? Is it
no,
always like
usually, like, the map or the
No.
agent will come out, and it's, like, a full solid week or week and a half. It's, like, the following Thursday for us in Australia that it normally comes out, and this one was just, like, here's a Masters on a Sunday. Oh yeah, the map's out on the Tuesday morning. Have fun. It's like, whoa, it was quick.
Yeah, it was weird because the Asia servers, it just like opened up. Usually the map always opens up on Thursday, but I guess because it included the rank reset, they were like, well, it needs to be in the pool, so we can't like unlock it later after the patch, I guess. But yeah, I was kind of caught off guard by that too because I wasn't planning on checking it out until Thursday, and then people in my chat were like, it's out. And I was like, what do you mean it's out? It's not. And they're like, but it is. And I was like, oh. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess more days, the better. The earlier we get to check it out, we'll take those. But overall, what have you thought? Because the most I've got to play it was actually just in the Summit lobby, the Summit queue, right, which is Swift Play, because I haven't gotten as much in ranked. I think I've only had maybe 2 games in ranked. I've gotten every other map on a fairly good rotation so far, but most of it is swift play. So it's, it's good to like kind of check out just how an agent feels, but I haven't got a good grasp of the flow or anything like that. But you guys like it? Dislike it? How are we feeling, Shyo?
But I think one of the best map introductions to date. I feel like it's as scrappy as like Sunset in a map in terms of how much you can brawl on it. But the hardest part about it is some of these, like, because it gets so brawly sometimes and so exec heavy on one side of the map, retaking is not as fun as some of the other maps in the game. Like even Ascent, sometimes if your whole team dies on A, you still got that walkthrough in heaven. You still feel like the boss. In this map, if like my whole team dies B and I'm anchoring A, I am going on YouTube Shorts for the next like 2 minutes and saving my gun. There's like no chance. But past that, like random caveat, it's been an awesome map. Komodo was talking about it right before, but we went live. You can play so many agents on it. It's just absolutely amazing. And love mid, love how it all connects, love the dynamic doors. It's a really cool map. It's a fun map.
Have you had any door deaths?
No, not yet. I have killed
Not
one
yet.
person with the door, but I have no door deaths yet. No, yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. Komodo, what about you? What are your impressions so far?
I really do like the map because I always, as everyone knows, take it from like a very analytical, very strategic type of style. And I think that this map has been the map that's introduced the most viable agents that we've ever seen. And I think that might be brought a little bit more in line as well with the new Initiator and Sentinel buffs that do come in to the play as well. But I actually really, really like this map for myself. But I know a lot of other people, yeah, they like the map, but they are struggling because of the sheer amount of angles. Like the volume of angles that they have to clear either as an individual or as a team is quite massive in a lot of the chokes. And I've been seeing in like the high ascendant, even lower mortal space, that it's catching a couple of those people off guard, not clearing corners, which is very interesting. So I think that it's going to be a very steep learning curve for anyone to try and perfect this map, but a very, very possible entertaining map. That can't be understated.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think this is. I talked about it when I was checking it out the first day I played it. It is the toughest time I've had on day one of a map, just because it's just something about looking at, because of the number of angles. I think trying to keep my eye on the mini map was very disorienting without having spent as much time on it. Whereas, for instance, let's say Abyss, right? Obviously, people struggled on that map, but it's pretty straightforward on the mini map, right? You got very long sight lines, and then you have a couple corners you have to check. But here, it's like, okay, wait, like, does this path? I can't remember. Does this go around? Like, does it go all the way into the spawn? And I like check the minimap, and then I can't tell where I am. And so it took me the full day of several Switchplay games to be like, okay, all right, now I get it. I actually had to kind of not look at the minimap for a little while and just run around and say, I'm focusing on this lane this game, and then the next round, and then finally I got around to it. But so I imagine the majority of players, right? The player base will definitely struggle with it. I mean, they always complain about every new map anyway, but I think it will definitely be tougher this time around. I am curious, though. We spoke about angle density. You guys think it's too much? Or it's fine? Is it in the wrong places?
I think that's honestly fine because it incentivizes you to be a little bit more two-dimensional, not one-dimensional. Like, you're not trying to bully 5 players into a single angle like a main choke, for example. It emphasizes more on some mid control and spreading out and splitting, which in my mind brings a little bit more into the TP ability agents, which is something that I really like. So I actually think that at its core, this map encourages a lot more splits versus just a lot more like brain numbing everyone together play, which personally I like.
Yeah, totally is at the same angle I'm coming from. Like, if people do struggle a lot with the angle density, as soon as you choose mid, you lose a lot of the angle density on the map and just a lot more controllable. People start to learn that, like mid-ranked game as well, where they're like, you have your Phoenix anchoring a site for some reason, or trying to entry for a main, and then 5 rounds pass, he's got nothing done, like, because he's losing the people just camping in random corners, ends up taking middle for a round. That feels good. I want to do it again and again and again. So it's nice to even watch people in your own games kind of learn the map entirely on defense and attack.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I personally, I think I do question whether it's too many in a row, like in approaching a site, especially from the attacking side, where just like every corner I turn, it's it's a 50-50, it's a 2 corners every time, right? Because there's always a nook, especially on that A side. Like every doorway, every archway has nooks on both sides. So I do wonder if I think it's good within Valorant. If it was another game or a different game, maybe I wouldn't mind as much. But you know, I'm willing to wait it out, and we'll see how it plays. And like you guys said, obviously, maybe the better way to go about it is not just macro, but also the agent choice, right? Because
Yes.
there's so many agents possible. So let's talk about the agents then. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay it out as a tier list, but it sounds like we're gonna be more looking at which agents maybe aren't so good on the map versus who's the best. But I'm sure we'll have a couple standouts. So let me just get that set up, and then we will jump right into the tier list.
Yeah,
Let's
there
see.
are, I think, a few agents that just straight up shouldn't exist in this map. Like if you're picking these, you are the guy who just likes low tiers and you want to use a low tier for some reason. I'm just bringing the FGC terms into it, but like it's there's so many there's so many better. It's so one of the first times we can truly see that, okay, if I want this archetype, there definitely is a strong point in it, and like the weak points just shouldn't matter. You want in this map as well to, like, on defense at least, close sight lines. So like, see through walls might not be as good. My deadlock, like what's it called, stocks kind of go down on that one as well. So but yeah, in general, there's so many different approaches on why you think an agent's good or bad.
To extend on that as well, like I see the ability of double dive comps, double controller comps, real slow and methodical play, heavy lurk strat coming out from his sentinels as well. Like there is so much you can do. And in my ranked games so far, legitimately, I've seen every agent except 2 so far. I have not, and this is going to be a bit weird. I've not seen a Yoru yet in my games, so that one is kind of normal. I've not seen a Neon yet in any of my games.
That is interesting, actually. Yeah, but I mean, I get, actually thinking about it now, I guess, the nerf happened and then people kind of just automatically moved away from it. And while, we were proven at Santiago that it was still fine, obviously not everyone's, I guess, watching. So yeah, I guess so. It is a little surprising. All right, so we have the tier list set up. Just so we kind of, as people glancing at it can tell, we'll just say S tier we're considering busted. Doesn't mean that they're like broken, but this is like you must play if you're serious about winning, etc. And then the last tier will be like, don't play this. You're kind of trolling if you do, right? And then everything else will kind of just play it by ear here. So let's talk about Neon then, since we just talked about it. So where does that put Neon in Summit? Are we thinking, just kind of right in the middle? Or do you still think that she's got some strength, given that she obviously, generally, she's a pretty good agent at clearing a lot of those corners and angles?
I'll shove her in busted. I think that she genuinely is busted. I think she could be slotted in as the solo duelist in a lot of instances as well. I don't think verticality is needed on this map as much from the duelist. Like the slide dive and the wall itself just honestly blocks so much off. One of the best things about this map on attack is being able to cross from right to left in the mains as well to get options. And Neon's wall, if you just use it from the right side, gives the rest of the team the option to flood in from the left. Gives her the option to play that AB type of angle. I truly think she's busted on this map. That wall lets her scale like crazy and disrespect a lot of Sentinel util as well. Like we're going to talk about it soon, but Killjoy I feel like is such a strong character on this map. Her wall kind of counters the RP. Like she's the rock to the scissors of Killjoy, right? Like and then in combination, like Chamber, lots of people with sight lines, the aspect of the brawliness of the map, her stun's so good. It's a closer range map as well, so overdrive gets so much value. And again, we talked about the angle, like density. Slide breaks so many ankles on these angles over and over again. I think she's busted. I think she's actually busted.
I agree with that. I don't know if I don't think we're going to see a lot of solo Neon to come out on this map, because I think if you're pairing her with like a Raze or with a Waylay, I think it's going to be quite strong. I can see arguments for like a Team Heretics, for example, to be running it solo. Other teams I could see it as like a duo duelist, not so much a double dive, but really playing with the util and playing with the to and the fro, and the lane argument that you mentioned there is really strong. So I would say, like, for me, top of A tier, but stretching into busted is something that I could agree with.
Wow, busted, huh? I mean, I think the logic all makes sense. Well, let's put her there for now then, and then we can see where we end up with everyone else. Just because I don't know, I guess the way I'm seeing it is she is very strong, but do I feel like within the duelist pool that she's almost necessary? I don't know.
That's the hard
right?
part,
Like,
because,
yeah, that's like where the line gets drawn a little bit, but I guess if you think it's not necessarily that it doesn't mean that she's necessary. It just means that if you use her, it just gets like infinitely easier. I guess that's the other definition of how you would rate the agent. So I agree with that. It's funny you mentioned verticality because I think a lot of people were first kind of just like, wow, there's like so many boxes and there's like the doors on the second floor and things like that. And I kept thinking, I mean I don't like how often are you really using that actively, right? It's kind of more of a niche thing, maybe a pocket position, something like that. So, all right, the neon. I think also, I actually question for you guys. So, which skill of neon or passive is the one that's like the most important here? Do you think? Is it the stun, the sprint slash slide? Is
Honestly,
it
I
the
think
wall?
it's the fast lane.
I think it's
Yeah,
fast
the
as
wall?
well. Yeah. Wall.
Okay,
The wall.
that's what
Yep.
I was hoping. I was hoping you guys would say that because I think people are finally learning just how much that allows you to build other comps
And
as well, right?
like with that argument, I would still personally see like a waylay jet over a neon for the comps in currently what I've seen. Maybe you're saying a waylay raise, or a jet raise, but like again, this is for me. There are so many duelists that could be played. You can even make an argument for the Yoru if you're doing a take the fight and get back because 15 seconds on the TP. Take that aggressive line and get out. I can see something like running that if he doesn't want to play a jet, for example, for Paper X on this map. I think this is a very, very well thought out map for nearly all of the duelists in its capacity. And stretching out to the next agent that I'd like to bring up, duelist-esque, and I still hate this agent with a passion. I think Chamber is STR busted tier on this map.
Busted tier. Ooh.
Yes, because every single instance that I've seen him on taking these lines, the passive info of the trademark, the ability to reposition that rendezvous anywhere around like the whole of A site in so many different angles that you can re-peek after you take that shot from a new angle every single round. If they drop that art door on you and you have your TP behind it or in front of it, you can hold the art door for the line when it drops the door on you. You can get back into the site quickly and take another shot. Like there is so much possibilities for what a chamber brings to the table on this map if you're going to run a sentinel, because in my personal comp, it's one of those double controller non-sentinel comps.
We just so we are clear though, we are talking in a team setting, correct? Like when we're doing this tier list. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think I would slightly disagree there. I think Chamber is strong. I mean, I just think in general Chamber is probably pretty strong, especially if the tendency is still to run double duelist. But and I think you make a good point because there's so many angles. You kind of keep that pressure on even after you rendezvous of like, well, where you could peek out immediately again. You could have gone just out of the area. Like, who knows? But I also don't know. Like, that's a very specific scenario of if the opponents are playing something like double smokes or a smoke with a neon or a phoenix, with an extra wall. I just think it kind of gets negated like instantly, right? And I think that's one where it's like, yeah, in a certain scenario, you're very strong, but you're not always able to overcome the scenarios that are thrown at you because I think this map requires so much more active, like maneuvering, not fast maneuvering. I think it's very different, but active kind of step by step, taking space, closing off space, then checking again, things like that. So personally, I'd be okay with A tier. I just think Chamber right now probably there's not many maps where he's below A tier, but I don't know if I would put him up there. Yeah, Shyo, what do you think?
I'd say a map like Breeze is more so where Chamber could see busted capabilities because you have ways to get outside of the crazy util that's being put down. Like that map is still double walled, but he finds value. Like on Ascent, he can find that busted type of value as well because there's gaps in the utility. For this map, because I mean you guys are saying it, double controller, there's been like when I first hopped on it, double initiator a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit lacking of the sentinels, and yeah, there's slow play, but it's with walls and stuff that you might be able to disrespect, but then like inconsistency compared to some of the other agents, there's just so much mess with Chamber. So I wouldn't say busted because you just can't consistently find value with him, but A tier 100%. I have him slotted into a bunch of comps as well. He finds value, definitely. He's just not the main character, I feel like, in like the starting super busted 5 or 6 characters in the map.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
I actually think you made a really good point in the Breeze comparison because Breeze is one where you just getting that information, delaying for even half a second, and then getting out safely alone is pretty good value. Whereas here, the question is if you're getting out anyway, like if you're leaving the site entirely, not exactly providing that much value, I would argue.
Yeah.
And then if you're not, you probably still need at least somebody else to always be there to prevent them from really overwhelming you or like pinching you from both sides of wherever you've TP'd to. And I think that's where you would probably lose a little bit of that default value that we expect from something like a chamber. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's actually go along the chamber route then. And Shyo, I'm very curious what you're gonna say about this next agent. Vito, another TP Sentinel.
C tier in my opinion.
C tier. So C's like what? Like you could very niche. If you're really good at the agent.
Extremely niche. Like I have one theory crafted comp for him, but it plays into like a crazy archetype that we can talk about later. But in my opinion, I ran a whole bunch of Vito. Like when this map came out, the TP buff, cool. Like, and I love Vito. I'm like the Vito connoisseur. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I truly think the most value you get for picking a Sentinel is one that can just jam a molly into an extremity. That's all it is, to delay for like 7 seconds or however long it is on your time. I can like sit here strapped with the interceptor, take 20 years to like get the perfect round by pressing a button for a millisecond in the correct way, or I can play Sage and throw slow. Ooh, that's crazy. And it's the same level of value, like in a more consistent way all the time. Like his what's it called, his evolution is cool too, but a lot of the times like executable utility is not really the problem in the map. It's more so like the cover of smokes, some pop flashes sometimes, but just like vision denial entirely, which he doesn't get through. And then again, it's the whole Vito thing of like, without a map draft in the game, sometimes you'll pick Vito and they'll have nothing for you to do anything about. Like if they pick Waylay and not Raze, if they have Neon and I don't activate my wall when I crystal ball doesn't tell me she's using it, it's impossible to deny fast him. And I swear to God on this agent, it's a C tier map for him again, unfortunately. Bind, I think, is one of those A tier maps for Vito again, where you can control the space cutting so much, and like that's so valuable. But this map again, I think is small enough in the CT lines, you can get that value done. And then the attack, you're never really doubling back a lot. You don't have to bounce back and forth like Corrode. If you own space, it's better to just keep it entirely. So I don't see much value in Vito going back as well, based on, again, a map like Corrode or Abyss, where it's nice to come back and forth. So yeah, for me, C tier.
I do agree, even though it pains me, because I've played a lot of Vito on this map specifically. I've had 3 maps where I've played him and I've had over 30 kills with him. Just fun jumping around. Not really emphasis on the interceptor or the chokehold. It's his buff has done very well for him in his playability, in his rotatability, with those TPs
that is
to be
huge.
able to get around, which is great. So a team like Global Esports that was using him on Split, for example, they would probably get more value out of these buffs for him. Would they be able to develop a comp to be able to play him on this? Sure, but I think there's a lot more stronger comps that you could potentially come out with on this map as far as the Sentinel is lined up on. I would put him in the C tier. I wouldn't put him on the do not play. He can definitely be playable, especially in ranked. But I also had a game where there was one agent whose utility he could zap. So I'm just literally shooting. I'm a defunct chamber essentially at that point in time, right? So he's fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's C tier in the map. Yeah.
Unlucky. I do agree that the TP buff is very noticeable, just on all the maps. The range buff is huge, and even the speed I would say is actually very noticeable. But that's fine. I personally I was hoping someone would argue for B, but I in good faith cannot do that myself either. So in C tier he goes. All right, Shyo, who do you want to talk about next?
I mentioned him a bit before. I want to talk about Gecko. If we want to get spicy with it, I would put Gecko in B tier on this map, honestly, because a lot of the times this guy is like do or die. Like he's icebox level of like A to busted, or like why does this character exist? There's no skybox, but not only just skybox, low like walls on the map make his dizzy really good for like B main, good for like the A main overhang as well to pick up and then go again. His buff actually percentage based was insane, from 20 seconds to 15 on every globule. Not just dizzy, but every globule, meaning like skybox mollies to exec A, you can deny double box and then go there and pick that molly up. Like you control that space. Lots of value. The issue is it's Gecko. His ultimate is weaker than Sova's drone. Like again, it's Gecko that you're playing. So I can never really put him above B tier anywhere. But on a map like this, where again, we talk about agent synergy as well. Harbor, I think, is good on this map. When Harbor's good, Gecko is automatically in a higher tier. When Sage is good, I feel like Gecko is automatically in a higher tier. In Brawly maps, where mid is important, I feel like Gecko is not. Just saying Waylay's good, Gecko's good with Waylay. Like it's a dash and a flash that is very hard to get good value in denying. So I put him in B tier and not C tier.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Also, I just think with more wall type, right, like slice wall type smokes becoming more prevalent just in general, double smokes continue to be prevalent. Not as strong as Sky or a really, really good KO/Yoru, but still very valuable, especially if you do pair it with some, one of those other, or maybe Phoenix, right, where it's a double flash type, or at least double throwable. I think that's where Gecko always shines. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I'm okay with him becoming an agent where it's like, yeah, you know what? Maybe you couldn't figure out someone better, but it's fine. Like I'm not gonna be mad that someone picked this. It should be able to get value, but especially for Pacific teams, you do have to pick up the globules sometime for me to accept this. Like that's the whole point of the buff. Like that is the whole point of the buff, is that you're able to at least pressure the idea of reusing this. If you're just tossing it out and not picking it up for 12 rounds in a row, then that's bad. Then you shouldn't be playing the agent for sure.
I'd agree with B tier, but adding the caveat, there is no universe that he will be ever below a Fade or a Sova on this map. At all.
Below?
Above?
Above.
He will not be above. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, wrong way. He will be below them, because in any world argument, they present much more than he'll be able to in my mind on this map.
Depends on just one composition where I feel like he could work, but at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's the point though, right? Is that Gecko does require a comp that that enables him. Like he needs to be enabled, whereas Sova and Fade are enabling other people. So it's like, yeah, I think that's where they have a lot more strength. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gecko then. All right. We don't have any controllers. Let's talk about
Omen S tier, busted.
Omen S tier, let's move on.
S tier? Wait, no.
Easy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
If you are thinking about how to approach this map, by default you can put Omen in almost every comp. He can be the Viper. How is Omen not S tier in this map?
I think Harbor and Viper are above him. That's simply why. Not that he's bad. I just think personally, I think Harbor is now we're going to other territory, but I think Harbor is the controller to play. And then, I mean, Viper is usually always going to be double controller, right? So I guess that's the caveat.
The issue is, or go ahead, Komodo.
Yeah, so
I was gonna actually mesh both of them. I actually really like the Omen plus the Harbor. I agree with the Viper is below that. I would put Omen and Harbor together on the busted, and that's the only controllers that I would then leave in busted. Yeah.
I'd still put Omen above, because if I was deciding on how to put this map up and I could only choose one controller, his ultimate ability, Paranoia, is so good. Like, the Paranoia, it just does so much that even if you were in India playing in a water park, Omen would still be better than Harbor. Like, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. Like, the Paranoia is too good. Until they remove that ability, it doesn't matter where you are in the world or in space, Omen's that guy. And in this map, Paranoia is so good. Attack, taking the A line, B, defense, playing for that entire... You could just Paranoia and control the... If you go for a B hit, your round is done. You have to reset the entire round off of this $400 ability that you get to activate on your own agency. He's above Harbor still. And I know this is one of Harbor's best maps. I think I've Harbor the most played on this map.
You think Omen is as strong here as he is on, say, Ascent?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
What you do on B main on defense with the para is the same thing you do on defense from Cat to A with Omen's para. In execution as well, you can deny. Say you don't want to use it immediately on the A line. You wait a little bit on attack. Double boxes, Paranoia the entire time and the entire left way. And then what? You neon wall or you harbor wall the right side. Full control. Exec onto the site. Drop smokes, by the way, that cover from site to site. By the way, you could be on B site and smoke A. You could be on A site and smoke B. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy right now. And I didn't say I said verticality is kind of bad, but I'm on a rant here. Sorry. Omen has a little bit of it. He can get jammy with it. He can also break doors and TP right past them at the same time. He's got some trickery. He's got a little bit of trickery.
Okay. The only thing I see, because of the number of corners and the slight difference in distance, I don't think for instance, the whole Ascent Cat to A and like will treat A kind of Paranoia type beat, right? Where you're able to slow them down on defense. I don't think the B side, or even quite frankly, anywhere on the A. Well, maybe actually it might be better on A side on Summit, but I don't think they're as strong as they are on someone like Ascent because I think there's more options for the attackers to either like it doesn't feel as good to use that because if they reset or if they were playing a better default, it doesn't actually get you as much value because of all the other time that it would take to take other space or re-clear and hold on to that space, right? Because if you go out there, you're stuck in a one and done spot as the defender, whereas on Ascent it's like, I mean, Wine is a bit one and done, but you could still just hold a better main angle and try to get it back into sight, and also your team would have a better time being able to whether it's push out mid or
this is like the enabling teammates map, so it's not just about your solo play, but like that paranoia is going to put one of your teammates in a god spot. That paranoia is going to solve a lot of problems for your team. Obviously there's no wine angle.
Very good. Very good. Listen, obviously paranoia, very good ability. I'm outnumbered here, so we'll put him in busted. But
I actually I think the paranoia, because of the amount of corners on this map, it's strong flash. Don't get me wrong, it's a strong near sight, but it's almost the first one before the Phoenix flash or the Sky flash or the KO flash or anything like that. It's the first layer before the second. I actually think a lot of his strength comes from, as you're mentioning it, it's not like Lotus where if you're at C, you can't smoke A, right? You can actually cover the whole map as an Omen on this one. The ult is really good to get tricky with so many corners that come around, but the Shrouded Step, you're going for a mid default, he can go from side to side. You're on the A side, he can go from side to side. You're on the B side, he can go from side to side. Like, there are so many different angles that his Shrouded Step reaches. It's insane. And because like that buff that came through ages ago for how quick it actually re-equips your gun through now, it is a really powerful Shrouded Step. And you get two of them, man. Like, you got two quick TPs to dip in, dip out, be aggressive, be passive on two different angles really quickly. That's where I see a lot of value come through from him. And if you want to talk about the A site, it's the weird shaped one. There's that corner box. I don't know how to explain it.
The curvy corner.
Yeah,
the curvy corner
on the left.
There's the corner box that's on the far right. If you're sitting on the site and you're below that, you can get your body seen from pillar. He's like, unless you got another vertical agent like your Ray satcheling up or your Waylay dashing up for whatever reason, or Jet dashing up, him TPing up into that corner is like, it's an angle that should always be cleared, but it's still technically like a good hold position on that side. So he brings a lot of good contained positional like rotatability.
Okay. You know what? I do stand by. I stand corrected because I hadn't fully considered the TP aspect and definitely not the ult aspect. I hadn't even thought about the ult and it being actually indirectly buffed. So fine. But can we agree Harbor also broken then?
Yes.
Yeah, so broken, dude.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially with all his buffs coming through, like the high tide just being taller, it being longer. That in and of itself is great. You get out the Storm Surge and the fact that you just got the info off it. Like, if you want to clear a corner, for example, remember it goes through walls as well. So if you want to clear these boxes, it can stretch through them. His ultimate, big wall boy, it just goes out. I mean, it covers everything. It's really good. He is a really strong agent on this map.
Yeah, I think probably a couple of us at least will have him in some of the compositions we're going to talk about later. But I think it's also just, again, walls, especially one that you can control, is going to be so good for mid control, something like that. He has, the best refreshable smoke right now. And also on both sites, the throwable util to set up executes is really good. You can have really good lineups for, any of them, right? Whether it's, whether it's Harbor or any other agent. And so therefore, I think somewhere like A site, that near site comes in really, really handy. All right, Harbor's done. Komodo, who do you want to bring up next?
Let's throw in like a do not play. Honestly, I think Mix again is going to be a do not play on this map. I also would hazard a throw in for a deadlock technically on this map as well. By the sheer lurk volume and ability, like, it's a very niche position that you're going to put a deadlock into this map. Even though you've got like a couple of chokes, like you got the B main choke, the A main choke, for example. I'm thinking from a defense side to put up that wall. I think that you're just getting an immense more value out of, if we're talking solo Zenti here, a Killjoy is hands down better, a Vice is hands down better, a Cypher is hands down better. Like, there's no reason in my mind at the moment that Deadlock should be on this map. Even if you're doing Seasonade combos, you're doing Fade anyways. It slots in on that Initiator roll for that purpose. So I think Deadlock for me is a do not play on this one.
Facts.
Yeah, you're nodding. Okay.
Genuine facts, yeah. Mix.
Sag.
Still don't know why this agent's in the game. Deadlock, yeah. If you want a wall, like again, there is value. Like say on B or on B on bind, on B long and A to have your wall see through to be able to fight and re-peek and stuff like that. This map doesn't really have that type of relationship with some of the angles and the extremities. If you want to block something off, it's all about visibility on this one. Don't be seen and make sure they're really suppressed wherever the enemy team is. So Sage, I think her wall is just better. Whatever you want to use Deadlock for, net to slow people down, slow will do the same thing. And because of the way the angles are on the map, you know, it's I call it the fat area abilities, right? The FAAs, the FAs, like Storm Surge, slows, Gecko's Molly as well, that puts them in B tier. I feel like the slow's fatter than the net, so it's just better. She's just outclassed by another Asian in the pool right now.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Shyo, who you got? Any tier?
Breach, do not play.
Agree.
Yeah. You know what?
Agree.
I didn't even.
I've tried it. I've tried it with Breach. The issue is like, because I've had like 2 Breaches on my team who were very malleable as well. They were like very open to being in certain places for stuns. You end up stunning your team a lot on this map. Like it's very hard to find, because the lines are really good. Like you guys are talking about that curvy corner, like that entire space on the double box is an amazing stun. For Breach to be able to do it, he's got to stun your own duelists. Like it's
Right.
You'd almost wish that his stun started later, or you could adjust where it is. Riot Games adjustments. You could maybe see where the stun starts from. That could be crazy for Breach. But that, I think that entire instance of like Breach has to be in the wall already making out with it doesn't really make sense. Like you need Breach to take that space first. So I'd say do not play this guy. But there are some comps, like I was theory crafting. I'll spoil a little bit, like a post plant comp, and Breach is a part of a lot of those post plant comps. Even then, some of these walls are not attached, so his flash doesn't work the best. Like his aftershock doesn't work the best. So forget about this guy.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought about him on this map, so I think that just goes to show
Good.
where he's at. All right. I will bring up. Let's see. Phoenix was a very hot commodity in the recent Masters. I would consider him A tier.
I would agree.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. I mean, just so we summarize, I mean, for me, it's, again, you get another wall, right? Not as long as Neon's, but you get another wall, so you cover those smokes. Obviously, flashes and mollies, especially close quarters, like that's what he was built for. It can really help shore up some of those, maybe if you're not using double initiator, the lack of initiators to clear and approach. And then, the ult as well. And speaking of which, these ult orbs are like really close to defender start. Not that you can steal it before they see you, but they're like very right in front of your doorstep.
Yeah. B main one I've seen a lot of value out of, but the A main one, like the box around arcade that the attackers can go, and if they jump up on top of the stool or whatever it's called, I've seen a couple of nicknames for it. They can see over that box into the A choke as well. It's a very risky A orb, but the B orb is kind of the one. And not to mention, I mean, for Phoenix, there are so many corners for the curveball to go in this map. It's insane. And even like the hot hands, right? If you're on attacking side, you can lob that over A main, over quad, and it burns behind that box. You can do the same for triple over at B side. So the hot hands, not just selfishly used for healing, you can actually use it as a molly, which is kind of nice.
But here's the thing, right? Like we were talking about how line walls are so good. Mollies are so good. Like, denying angles is so good. Then why is Phoenix an A tier? I think he still stays in A tier just because of his speed, right? I think overall his scalability with things, working with other agents in the pool as well. Neon, we did call that fast lane one of the best tools, Chobra. You asked about it. I still think your sprint and slide is good for the map to be able to keep up with the drone or have that surprise burst.
Sure.
For Phoenix, like your team already has some of those walls and you'll have your own, but getting past it and finding value past it, you need something like Neon or a faster duelist. He's almost there. Yeah. He's genuinely almost there. He's just not a must pick like Bind, where like teleporters make him so good, right? Like where retaking is happening all the time. You can actually anchor on this map a lot. It's not just about the retake. So I think he falls off a little bit in value there, which is why he's an A.
Yeah, he's just a little bit slower to get the util out compared to like Neon in this example.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. All right. Let's see. We're still lacking. Oh, yeah.
I would.
Oh, he's lagging out.
I'm lagging out, apparently, with him. I was going to say Brimstone in C tier.
C tier?
I was going to say Brimstone in B tier.
B tier?
Yeah, because one of the tags I have for this map is that it's brawly, And on attack
Mhm.
specifically, a lot of the times you can go for a set strat. If it works, you're winning. If not, it's time to save in the round, like fracture style, right? Like you can really just throw your smokes down, and in the next 30 seconds, you can really prolongate the fight for taking the actual space at hand. Like I think like Brim Tejo combinations as well are here, but he's not as strong as some of the other smokers. Not always there all the time. Molly on the post plant's amazing too, and some of the ways these sites are set up, orbital strike wins you an entire round. It's such an impactful ultimate. It's just I don't think he's on the same tier as like Vito or someone that's like so niche. You can get away with, like, his smokes have high impact. One wing, like even on defense, the A box, like you get what 30 seconds of value almost. It's kind of insane. Like he's not always going to be the best solo smoker. You can take apart a lot of his smokes defense, like when he's on defense and stuff. But the exec value on attack, the retake value, if you want to play that way and structure your comp that way, I think it's a pretty good tool akin like Gecko to be in there when he's in there.
Okay. I'm getting a little convinced here, Komodo. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be convinced about him being a solo smoker though. I think
No,
Just
sure
like
not.
Gecko. If
Yeah,
Gecko
just
was
like
solo,
Gecko.
hell no. But like,
Yeah.
I faced a team that went like, Tejo, Brim, and like a little bit of exec help as well with Waylay and stuff. But in the post plant, impossible to deal with. And then the smokes as well.
Yeah.
It's like when they were down, what the hell are we doing now? Like it's impossible to push through these things.
Yeah, you can convince me with that, but I guess in my head it would fall into the bucket where it's like it has to be that very, very specific stylized composition where like you'll still have, and I'll rate the flexibility of an agent with what they can play with a little bit higher in my personal kind of lists. So like I would personally rather see, like your Omen and your Harbor over a Brimstone perhaps, but I can see the argument in the comps that you're kind of saying here, which it would be cool to see some teams try it. Whether or not we would see it in play, be comfortable in seeing again, that's something that we won't know until we know. But yeah, okay, I can be convinced. Yeah,
Actually, I just got anti convinced by Komodo. So
I have one level of convincing though. I have one more level. Imagine
Wait,
if Brimstone had 4 smokes. Would he be good?
Shut up, no.
but he doesn't.
Okay, but here's the thing though. With the walls falling, right? With the walls falling, a lot of the times you can also cheat space to easily default wise break these doors and walls to go down. You save a smoke in your exec every time. You basically have like an extra smoke in every controller's arsenal.
You do, but I just think so. For instance, when you're thinking about maps where Brimstone is a relative mainstay, right? So Bind and Fracture. The thing is on attack, it's because whether you have another controller or not, that his burst alone is good enough, right? His burst is good to get that because post plant play is very viable and it creates a lot of pressure. Now, obviously, you can have lineups, but I just don't know if that's as much value as it is on those maps where it's like, yeah, well, Brimstone can always get that value. Yeah, you might need a couple other pieces to make sure it comes together. But on attack, I think it really falls short. On defense, I get what you mean, right? You can even create more 50-50s. It takes up a lot of time, so you can start to scout the other side of the map and really close off some of those angles. That I'm all for, and the Molly delay as well with all these choke points. But on attack, I just feel like the burst smokes don't actually like lead into much more compared to something like Bind and Fracture.
And also the argument as well regarding the breakable doors, like you still need to do something about, let's take the art door, for example. You need to push out to the right side of the choke essentially to be able to shoot the target to drop the door, right? So if you're smoking like off link and then you're holding another one, whether or not you're smoking back pebble or you're trying to smoke off pillar or something like that, you still have to cross in towards that art open, because I don't think that we're going to see a world in which people are going to run like a double shock dart lineup from a Sova specifically to break that door down. Like the amount of utility that's usable to break those targets is so much better in the actual like
Neon
map
wall
situations.
Neon wall.
Not that.
You get across.
You could do something like that. Sure,
Spam angles are so easy.
But
me and TMV were cooking up like some throw the Viper wall, just get across, shoot a set target. Throw a neon wall, get across, shoot a set target.
Yeah.
You literally don't even have to use a smoke to exec. That's the crazy part about this map is that you, for some of these hits, you do not need a smoke to exec. You need them for the hold. Bend and A link for A. For B, shoot the wall down at the top. You literally just have to fight. You can use a fast lane and fight. Neon's that's why she's busted. I feel like, man, I know it goes against the grain, but that's also what I'm thinking about. Some of these counter anti-meta comps. Like they want to run Harbor, you can burst through everything with a Stimmy in mid. Stimmy is so good in this one, man. It's like I feel like I'm in 2019 with the Stimmy checks right now. It's crazy, bro. I don't know. I'm just saying B tier though, because it's not the best. It's not always there.
No, yeah, definitely not. Definitely nowhere above B. But okay. No,
innate value. Value.
No, you've gotten me that.
Sure.
You have to think about him differently, though. I think what convinced me was that he's not the burst to get in. He's the one that helps the post plant because you have to play on site. So okay, no, you know, I can get behind that. We'll put him on B. We'll put him on B.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about. We talked about the shock darts. Let's talk about Sova. Where does Sova come into play here?
I want to see Komodo's take on this.
This is a hard one for me specifically because I get the vibes of a Lotus with a Sova, where no, he's not a do not play. I would say he's almost like a B, like a middle B tier, where I could see a lot of good value come from him. I can see a lot of like the drone being powerful and the darts and everything. The ultimate can be pretty powerful from its reach in a lot of the positions, but I then just think to myself, Fade exists. And I'm like, well, where does that place Sova for me? Because are we running single initiator? I don't think Sova cuts the mustard. If we're running double, I would still prefer like a Fade and maybe a KO or an argument for a Teo, which is a weird nuance for me still in current day. So I think Sova is like kind of middle B for me. Again,
middle B. Wow.
I don't think like I would
below Gecko.
See, I think Gecko's middle B as well. I honestly think Brimstone would be above Gecko, to be honest, with what we've spoken about. And I would put Sova like between the two of them almost.
Yeah.
Wow.
I kind of respect that. Like when I first started looking at the map, I'm like, wow, his drone can cover so much space, especially if you just get a little bit of inkling of space beforehand. Like in mid, if you're able to walk down to the extremity first, where you can see the door, and then go through all of lane, you can push through the door. Like if you get some A space, like how we're talking about Brim being the second layer of utility, his second layer is amazing. But like if you think about the map, his ultimate is kind of ass. Like when you're using it on Breeze from A to A, you have so much space and time. For Ascent as well, like from A to A on attack, you can really, there's so much space to actually be able to curve his ult properly. On this map, you have to be so far away to get that value. You can't like, it's not like Haven where you start off so far away already and then your position has an A value. You can just kind of walk onto the site. You are so away from the gameplay using your ultimate and set expectations. In freestyle mode, your ult is only really good if they're away from you across the map, which is like so cope for me. I feel like Tejo's ult is better in the way the map's shaped. Nightfall as well, these square sites, like these small choke points. He just doesn't get it done for me at all. I've been missing my soul vaults on this map. I'm a pretty good hunter, let me tell you. You know, employee of the month in October last year. Just saying.
Self-proclaimed.
But self-proclaimed, of course.
It's also like the way that the map is just designed, the drone is not super versatile in how you want to actually try and use it. Like if you think about his drone and his dart as corner clearances and space gatherers, it's just immediately you put them on a scale compared to like a double prowler and a horn and the ultimate as well. If you want to add any extra info and space gathering and pushing effect, the Fade is just 99% times better than the Sova in nearly every single like merit. It's just Fade will be over Sova. So
look at some of these agents. Right? We said Viper already. She's coming up. She's going to be good. But walls, all the walls in the map, darts are so bad in my opinion against walls compared to scans. That there's so many roofs you can put them on. Like it's that's another big thing. I wish he could be strong enough for A. I really do, but like even his ultimate is not as high impact on this map. Even with KJ being so good. I don't know.
I think the ult is kind of similar to what you said about the fault line as well, right? Where you don't have those line of sight through walls to punish the enemy while not punishing your team, but you'd have to kind of slow yourself down. I do want to ask, because you guys talked about it earlier though. So while you wouldn't normally be always using it to break the doors, does that boost him any, maybe a little bit more though, that he can do that? So
nah.
Not really, because it's just wasting the shock darts. Like if you're building a stack for two, because it needs 2 shock darts to hit it.
Yes.
There's just like, you would rather use them to break nano swarms or to break like some sort of utility that are holding a choke. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it was Mel that played Sova in the show match. She had some cool like lineups for the recon, like ricocheting off the map and stuff.
Okay. So shout out to Mel. I used that lineup, and I was looking
Yeah.
at that lineup when it landed too. In the immediate moment it happened, I was like, "Holy shit, she has lineups!"
Yeah.
And then 5 seconds later, that lineup's kind of useless. Like it's not really clearing much. It's clearing 2 pseudo angles. You can backstep off of it a little bit from A main. It barely clears sight. Like somebody could
Right.
literally hide for a half a millisecond. The dart's just not that good, man. It's even with
Fair.
the open skybox, not that good.
Okay then. Yeah. So
All right.
middle B.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then fade in relation. How high are we going
I
with
think A
fade?
tier for
Busted.
fade. You reckon busted?
Busted.
I think
can
if you if one person, we don't have to follow this rule, but if I'm thinking about like every single comp, if I need an initiator,
Right.
I think
right.
fade is a very good
Okay.
default. Yeah.
Yes.
Like-
Yeah,
Fade
because
would be
if you consider the
default,
role, yeah, if you consider the
Yeah.
role
I'd
that
say bottom of busted, and we can review and then maybe knock
Sure.
her down a peg if you want. But
Sure.
yeah.
I'm okay with that. I think we kind of mentioned everything already, though, right? It's just the square of the ult covers more space, the haunt, the prowlers. Now, throughout that discussion, though, I've been curious. Where would you guys put Sky then? Above Sova or similar, like on the same level? Surely not below.
I'd
I'd
put
say
her
above.
on the just above. I would put her
Just
probably above Brimstone too, to be fair.
Okay.
I might have her a bit higher based on the brawliness of the map.
I
I'm
would
not
still
sure
have her in
how-
B tier though. I wouldn't like
Yeah.
maybe
she'll
You don't think
put
she'd
her
be
end up.
in A.
considered strong? You don't think she'd be considered strong? She's just okay. Is that where you kind of stand on it? I mean, why is that? Let's talk about the why first, because
Yeah.
in my head, I'm personally okay with her being on the bottom side of A, just because
Yeah.
with a lot of potential walls and just a lot of 50-50s, I think pot flashes, controllable pot flashes, is very good, right? You can have elevation on the flashes as well with a lot of the higher viewpoints as well. You still have a controllable drone that is faster than the Sova drone. And then the ult, I think, is still good, even if it just gets
Yeah, yeah.
immediately shot, just to clear those initial corners, right? So I think that just gives you so much less stress. So where is she not able to fully break through for you, Komodo?
I can agree with the bottom of A. Don't get me wrong. This kind of comes down to one of those scenarios where it's like there's just a better argument for a fade for me. If I look towards the sky, I'm looking at the flashes on this map as info, not as an actual flash. No one's going to probably be swinging off a lot of her flashes without something like a second flash behind it, like a Phoenix, for example. I think the regrowth is very, very situational on this map, even though it can stretch out a little bit. Like, if you're playing more of a default around, she has to run away from a specific angle for that heal. It removes her ability for actual information gathering in those moments that you would want to see the proper info. So I think there's just more arguments for a stock standard non-heal initiator with the rest of the utility that's available versus what she does bring. And again, like you kind of mentioned there as well with the Seekers, the Seekers have gotten, to me now in this game, it's kind of a gimmick ult. Like, usually they all go, because like the way this game is played, you're all not spread out super far, that the Seekers go in 3 different directions to reveal everything. They more often than not have a 2-to-1 or all 3 together, where one person will see them all and shoot them all. So you have an ult that has 3 jellyfishes that one person destroys them generally. It's just kind of like, it's a very expensive single Trailblazer, single recon type thing, and you're not even guaranteed to figure out who shot it unless you're tracking the sound of the gun skin. So like
Insane.
I think top B or bottom A, like probably top B for me.
Okay, Your Honor, permission to treat Skylar. She's godlike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Godlike.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Like
I don't-
busted.
I'm not gonna say busted. I'm not saying busted. Godlike,
Okay.
like maybe A tier. You know, because
Okay.
Bottom, middle, or top though.
bottom. I'd
Okay.
say.
Okay.
See,
okay.
I did say I would agree with it though.
Yeah,
so go.
I want to bump her up a little bit. So Seekers, I feel like on this map, with some of the space you can cheat and take already in mid immediately off of like other people, her like second layer of util, the Seekers are actually very accurate with how many like links and walls and halls there are to separate in a very good way. I've gotten a lot of value at playing Sky, like, and actually getting her Seekers in specific paths in proper sides as well. Getting the info that one person's also on one of the sides and he breaks everything tells you a lot specifically on from attack where people are defensively. So it's totally fine compared to a map like Split, where like when you use Sky Seekers sometimes from A, they can be going through A to target the B people a lot of the times. On this map,
Yeah.
it'll double back around to the mid people first. So one person can't break all 3 a lot of the time. So I think her Seekers actually pretty buffed on this map in that sense. Also, so many angles to deal with on retakes, right? Her Seekers are really good once you have that space to pop it down. Past that too, with Neon being good, Sky is just good. If double duelist is good, Sky is just good. Another archetype that I like a lot on this map
Yeah,
is double
flashes.
drone, right? Like we were talking
Yeah,
about, and
double drone,
I'm about
for
to
sure.
spoil my Brim comp here really quickly, but with Brim being so good as a second layer character, having Tail and Sky first, like 2 drones to get that space is nuts, because then you have all these, if you have ideas for layer 2s, she's one of the best layer 1s in the game. You can have Sky use double bird dog in the first 30 seconds and get value on this map, even if they all get destroyed or find no value, because she's just gotten that layer 1 space for your layer 2s on the map. So I think because if you want to slot in Sky into some of those comps, amazing. She just can't get slotted into every comp, I think is all it is. I think she's not like as prevalent as Split Sky, but more maybe like Sunset Sky, or like a Sky from Team Liquid on Breeze, who might not know what they're doing. A Sky on like Corrode, again, Team Liquid, who might not know what they're doing. Like it could just be a very aggressive angle, or a very niche thing, but very strong at the same time.
Would you say that Sky, as a, let's say, in a selfish individual play, is going to be like not as good as a Fade can do individually? So for a Sky to be in the bottom of A tier, she must be like with a Neon, for example, or something that she can purely properly dedicate the resources to setting up?
Yeah, with a Neon, or like with a grand game plan. Nothing like Split, where you can solo hold like top A, heal your team while you rotate, and then dog in yourself for a retake. It's not like that, but it's more so like I can give you guys, like I'm Vegeta, like Kakarot, I can give you 1 minute, right? Like, and then you come in and you do the job. So yeah.
No, that's fair. Yeah,
I'm fine with that. A tier, bottom of A tier.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right,
let's rapid fire some more.
Yeah, because I was gonna say we're nearing the end here, so we can go through some of the obvious ones.
ISO do not play for me. I don't see a world in which we're gonna
C tier
need
ISO.
Okay, I can agree with C tier ISO. Wait,
Yoru don't
ISO
play.
C tier.
ISO C tier.
Yoru C tier. ISO?
No, reverse. I think we should just keep. Don't
Says
play Yoru.
rapid fire
Yoru do
gets
not
caught
play.
up.
Yoru do not play.
Yoru, why would you not play Phoenix? I just say don't play Yoru. Straight up.
Oh, because of Phoenix?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
If your argument is Yoru's ultimate's so good, you get double the Phoenix ults, and it's better, honestly.
You wanna know there's something funny as well? The map can still call Yoru in his ult negative points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that
I would genuinely say, like, play Selfish Sky, honestly. Play Chamber and don't buy Headhunter. You get more value.
You get more value.
I'm telling you.
So you're not even considering the TP then at all
The
to be able
15-second short TP.
No.
Yeah.
It's not a real ability.
In that regard, I'd prefer a Waylay taking the fight with a refract available.
And then here's
Or
my
Chamber.
thing. Did you like talk to the game devs to make that TP go through walls? Because how the hell is that TP getting anywhere defensively on this map? You know what I mean? Like, you look at the angles. Like, this thing is like looks like a horrible Tetris game. Like somebody playing Tetris literally for the first time. There's
Are you playing a site back pillar or link and you want to get to the other side? Like that's the use case.
Well,
for each
I mean,
TP.
I don't know if you would consider it going to the other site, but just because
Same site, just like the little
the other
short
side.
range.
Yeah, sure. Well, but I think there's value in being able to either help control mid or check main and help control mid. Like, I think there's value there in both sides, to be honest, attack and defense.
The thing is, like, as soon as you discover pressure on the map, you want to stay where you kind of are. Like, there's no point in full rotating.
Yeah, you don't want to just leave it.
If you don't get pressure, like, site to site is a lot better than site to mid. And from what I've seen so far, Sentinels are much better at just controlling one of the sides of the map. I've just felt annoyed sometimes. I know I'm not playing in set pro play, but when there's a Phoenix on me and I'm playing Sage A defense, I'm like, why are you here? You're not going to do anything. I'm going to toss a slow, put a wall down, and back off the site. But that's Phoenix. If Yoru's there, okay, what? But Yoru can't even do the cool things, like in the sense of playing in front of the wall. There isn't that much space. If you walled that defensively from Sage or play a backline, you're giving up the orb entirely. Like the orbs are in such a spot where Yoru doesn't have as much value getting deeper to challenge is my only thing. I would genuinely put him in a do not play, but maybe we'd be wrong in the future. I know you have something in your soul, Chobra, that's saying don't do this.
Yeah, just because he wouldn't be the one holding the space is how I'm seeing it, right? Because if you're playing a lot of double controller, which presumably we all seem to agree that that's the main way to play this map, then most likely you're generally not playing a Sentinel unless you've got something very, well lined up with a solo duelist and solo initiator. So in that world, I think having someone who can help take the space, then station somebody else, like your primary duelist, and then help now, clear out or fend off the other, whatever you might consider more important for the rest of the round. I think there's value in that, right? So it's not that you're using this like in a grand macro idea. It really is a one-time use TP, like every round. But Waylay can't do that, right? That's different. Where Waylay is more about taking the fight and trying to win the fight. But Yoru would be, let me clear this for you. And then instead of before where Yoru's the one station, now it's, hey, whoever, you stay here. And then I will go now help clear out some other space as well. That's where I think there's some value of like a C tier.
C?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably choose Vito over Yoru. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then
I
you said ISO.
Yeah, I would put him in the do not play category on this one. Like, yes, there's a lot of chokes that he can get the undercut out and he can get the contingency, but it's the same breach argument. Like, you gotta kiss a wall, you gotta use the util, and you're not even the one that can go behind the util because you gotta be in an angle so far away from the actual action, you're not getting it out to equip your gun to be able to go. And I can see your finger wiggling around. All right, hit me with it.
Okay, this finger is layer 1, where you're correct. Layer 2, he becomes a god. Like, don't use a contingency for the take. You have other people that can do that for you. Use a contingency to stop people coming in. Think about it on the A retake when you're on attack. When you close that art door, they got 2 places to come from. Contingency's taking out drones. It's taking out a bunch of the retake utility coming in. It's inhibiting harbors, walls. He has to be in a very predictable space to be able to use it properly. Like, you can really bunker down a lot on this map. And a lot of this map also is alt retakes, which you can deny for like 6 seconds.
Wait, counterpoint. Then why not breach as the second layer?
Or...
No. Why is breach do not play where ISO is C tier?
Because breach takes the spot of the other layer 1s. Like, you need Sky and Tejo in that layer 1. The thing with ISO is you can just have him as the sole duelist. I think in a very niche comp where it's more just about we want to fight 24/7, we want to reposition on the map 24/7. I'll bring this comp up when we talk about comps so you can judge it.
I mean, okay, no, I get what you mean though, because at the very least you could turn on your shield to help with the whatever execute you're doing, whether it's defense or attack. Okay, so the breach argument I get.
The biggest thing we keep talking about the extremities, the middle of the map and the shield. You're not running into many abilities to take it down. And there's a lot of aura with that shield in the middle of the map. You have so much space.
This you're stretching it.
Wait, how? One of the worst parts about this shield is like...
But you're not running out there with the shield. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that you can challenge a fight. But then, to me, then it's like that argument would be better suited for someone like a Chamber or whatever, right? And that's always going to be the case. But I think middle...
I'm not saying defense. I'm saying on attack. I'm saying on attack, like, he has a lot of value with that shield in mid. And it lasts a long... Like, this map seems big, but it's very small in its lanes from getting from point to point. You can shield up from the start of the round all the way into like getting to the A link actual angle to exec on A, and your shield dies all the way into breaking the door in mid. Like, I feel like it has. If you
lose, so then if your ISO player loses every single ult for the whole map, you still think he's okay to play?
Yes, because I think there's enough of a time to catch up to somebody to get the trade with the ult. I think it's Haven levels of like, if you're ulting somebody, they will die on the site.
It's a removal thing.
Corrode is a little bit bigger. You still saw people being able to link that value. It's not like Breeze unlinkable, where like these guys are playing behind pyramids that you can't scale. Like, I think the ultimate has value. Contingency as well is just so good at denying a lot of the spam spray. If you do want to go for execs on B and stuff, like there's tech, man. But I'm arguing for low C tier, like lowest of C tier.
Between Vito and Yoru, or below Yoru?
Below Yoru, even. Like, yeah.
Okay, but not mix Deadlock Breach level.
No.
Listen, I'm fine with that just for the narrative of you can play as many agents as you can on this map. So.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, is there any other agent that you guys would put in the do not play? Just.
I mean, in a team setting.
Yeah.
Clove.
Okay. Yeah, Clove. Sure.
Even if you want to brawl hard, like you'd be slotting in Harbor or ISO. You would not be slotting in Clove. I don't know why you'd play Clove on this map, personally. Even at the fastest comp in the world,
actually,
you're playing Brimstone. Like,
I mean, I obviously you could you win? Yes, but you shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't. You should be playing somebody else. Okay, I'm fine with that. I feel like in that case, Reyna's also in that group when it comes to this map.
See, funnily enough, I would kind of say bottom C with ISO for Arena to a degree. Like, I could see a couple of teams trying to force her out, like we've seen in the past for the willy-nilly Icebox comp or the bind comp, purely because the amount of angles that the Leah can go out in for the info and the dismiss. I mean, if you're getting a pick,
dismiss, yeah.
you can get into another fresh safe corner. There are so many of them. It would be a very hard like press issue to say I'm gonna play a Reyna over a Phoenix or over a Waylay or a Jet or a Neon. Yeah, for sure. But she's not unplayable. Is the realm that I come into this one as.
Yeah, no, I get it. The angle density makes sense, right? Same thing as Icebox, where if you are popping off, the snowball gets really, really big. So I'm fine with that. I'm fine with C tier. Let's see. So do not play. It sounds like there's nobody else left, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any busted tier? Is there a Sentinel that is busted on this map?
Killjoy. Yeah.
Busted.
I think she would
Absolutely.
be the lowest of busted, but it's either lowest of busted or like the top of A in my mind for Killjoy.
Okay, so let me pose this argument. For me, busted would indicate that having a Killjoy can be just as good, like equal power level to double controller.
Yes. Yes.
Single controller with a Killjoy is pretty strong because the range at which she has her turret up and the alarm bot and the space coverage, like you can almost cover both sites by yourself, like no matter which site you're on. If you're on the A site, you can cover both entryways into A if you've got your team playing like a 2-2-1 or a 3-1-1 or something like that. And the way that the map is designed as well with the space coverage, you have the gap of timing, putting up your alarm bot or putting up your turret like at the front choke to get a smoke to help you out, to get a rotate to help you out. It's pretty good. So the time, from what Chyo said earlier as well, the nano swarms also got buffed recently, right? From 4 seconds on the floor to 6 seconds when they're activated now.
Couple
that.
5 seconds.
5 is it?
Yeah.
The buff for it anyway. It's
still
enough
big.
to stall. It's still pretty big. So I think that she's a pretty good pick.
Yep. LaFax James. Also, you're winning 2 rounds guaranteed per summit Kelly with a lockdown. 100%.
Lockdown. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're playing well, that's 2 rounds on attack.
The only thing though for defense for me, sorry if that came through. The A site, like if you're going through art and the doors down and you have to go through cave, it's actually a pretty hard ult to get out and hold safely to activate. The A site for her ult, like it doesn't actually cover like an extreme amount from the back holes side of things, like the whole holes to art to cave. So it's like you're kind of forced to funnel in towards Link, and even then it doesn't reach the site. So it's a bit of the weird ones where it's like the ultimate can be strong on the B side of the map, in my opinion. The A site, if you can get in to place it and protect it, like in the pebble corner.
Sure. I think
of door, right? Like you can put it right on door, it hits everything.
Does that corner of the door stretch to the whole site?
The whole site, you're forced to basically go into main. It was played on broadcast. On the show match.
It does. It does actually cover. I just checked it. Yeah.
So
and the thing is, the argument, and I love the argument of like, what if the door's up? You can always shoot the door from Link, on your own side of defensive retakes.
True.
Yeah.
So when Riot fixes the door breaking your lockdowns, then we can play this.
Yes, true.
Fair. All right. Out of the remaining ones, let's do some simple ones where maybe, there's not too much explanation needed. So Jet, I'm thinking like top B.
Top B.
We cool with that? Like she's just always okay. She's fine. She's never bad on any situation. What about? Oh, actually, that might be the only one that's very simplified.
Astra C, in my opinion.
Astra C, I'd say above like Yoru, or maybe top of C even.
Okay. I would maybe say like slightly above Vito. I think the biggest thing for me is she's too slow in this map. In majority of the things you want to do, like yes, you can put down 2 stars as real smokes and a third as a fake. Which, to be fair, having the fake smoke available to put like at the front of the art door or the tower door and then get a quick break onto it is kind of nice. Don't get me wrong. So I could see an argument for like that kind of thing bringing her up, and the fact that she has a wall, but you're not using her wall for any mass entries that you wouldn't already be using, like a harbor wall or a viper wall or something like that. So I could see like top of C, maybe bottom of B, but again, the Gravwell
Yeah.
and the Nova Pulse are kind of very situational on this map specifically. So top C, bottom B. That's where I sit.
Okay. Personally, I would have her B, but I'm outnumbered, so I'll just fight for top C. But just as a secondary controller, I think defense side she gets a lot of value, being able to kind of act as an anchor where a lot of other
primary controller
wouldn't.
wise, you always say it's Harbor, right, on this map.
I would personally.
Because my argument is that the only reason she sees not even her fault. You're just giving up paranoia, and her gimmick is you have global smokes. You don't need them on this map as much. Is all it is. So
fair.
those two,
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right. Sage. This is Sage's map. Where's Sage
above
going?
Phoenix.
Yeah,
honestly,
above Phoenix.
Above Chamber.
Phoenix.
Above Chamber, in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie, because it's guaranteed consistent value all the time. I'm actually gonna argue it's a hot take above Chamber. Like, you don't have to aim.
No, I kind of do agree with you. And like any team that is running, let's say, a solo harbor, like if you're doing something like that, I would almost argue the Sage is filling the void of the next, like the other smoker for the stall ability, the block ability. It fills that void like the most that any agent would be able to.
Okay.
So that's where I would put it. Yeah.
What about Vice then?
Vice.
Let's just finish the Sentinels.
I kind of think Vice would be above the Jet, to be honest with you, in the B tier. But I still think something like a Waylay or a Raze would go above, in my opinion. Maybe it's just below the Jet, actually.
Yeah, so
maybe she's below the Jet.
I would put her below just because I think, like, defense, you're always going to get decent value.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know. The way the sites are laid out is that you can't, I think just having one wall and then like the two thorns, the vines, isn't enough to protect you fully because there's so many ways to wrap around within the site, right? So if you're truly alone, then that doesn't really have value. Like the times when she has the best value in defense is when you can actually be on an island and you can just be like, it's cool, guys, because like on Lotus they would have had to go through B, like they would have had to go through somebody else. But here it's like, wait, they took down my wall and then now they've just pinched me like within the site, unless I have someone else in mid that can rotate immediately. So it requires a different setup. And I also think, yes, good delay in post plant, but others like Sage would do it better because you can just be much more versatile with that setup. So I would say here I'm okay with that.
It's kind of also wherever you would put that shear, it's not like you're going to be playing close to it as well, right? You think of Lotus, for example, you put the shear at the front of C, you've got your thorns directly behind it, you're generally in range to spot out the full util to play on the back of it. Where are you putting the shear in this one that doesn't expose and protect you from what you've just actually spoken about, right? You're not putting it in A link if we're playing on the A site to get the info there, because you're not going to probably play link and put your thorns over at A main. You're not putting the shear at A main because then you're fully exposed to A link and you got no coverage there unless you're putting thorns deep in it, but then you got no visibility to pop them. So it's just it's kind of it's a hard sell for me for a Vice on this map. But I can see her being very average.
Yeah, no, I think she's fine. Like, I don't think anyone's trolling by picking her. I think B tier is one of those where it's like we probably will see these agents, right? Especially in pro play at some point. Let's just finish the Sentinels then. Cypher.
I think right above Chamber.
Right above Chamber.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy traps and cages already in my ranked games.
Okay.
And a couple of like very high cameras that you wouldn't think that they can get there, and they are. So yeah.
Cool. I mean, that's kind of all we need to know, right? Because that's the whole gimmick of Cypher.
And
the biggest, go for it.
I was going to say, there's a couple of trips that you can put that when the door is broken, they actually become unbreakable trips. It's weird.
But then the question is, why is he not busted? And for me, it's some of the slower archetype of the map really lets you walk into these trips and break them. Like Viper walls, completely break this guy. Harbor walls, break this guy. He doesn't have as good of a mid hold as like say a map like I don't even know where you could play him where it would be good, like Ascent, where you can just throw a trip and forget about it, right? Like you have to have somebody still active there. So yeah, that's my big thing.
I think on that note, just in general, I think something that people will have to get used to even in your own games is that it's not so much about stopping the execute fully, but making sure you still hold some part of the site, right? Because that ruins the attackers in the post plant. So that's where he would probably shine a lot more. But okay, I mean, let's consider Viper a Sentinel. Then we talked a lot about Viper. I think we think she's pretty good as a secondary agent.
Is it
I just-
weird to say that I feel like Viper's top of B or bottom of A, even though we've been hyping her up that much?
I think that Viper, like, I'm not sure people lock into her early, but she becomes like what she is on Haven on this map. Like she some teams in a Gengify like summit, and then Viper is just godlike from there on out. Like some of the walls
Yeah.
on attack,
Yeah.
the protocols, man, you get sites for absolutely free. She has the impact she has on split on her walls. And for me, it's like, why is she not busted? I don't understand
Dude.
why she's busted. Like,
Have we confirmed, and I don't know if you guys will know, on attack, if you start B lobby side at tiles, can you send the wall to cut through archers and cut through a link to Ivy and block out that whole line? Do you guys know like the angles if you've got them out?
You
I haven't done enough
probably
Viper
can.
personally. I'm gonna launch up right now.
Yeah, I haven't
answer that
tested
question.
I haven't tested it in game,
If
but
you if
probably
you could do
can.
that, she essentially becomes like
So
a
you mean
very
B
strong
main, slice it up and into mid for
B
the
lobby.
arch?
So you start at the B lobby
Yeah.
choke. You can't throw it maybe off like before pre-round, but when it drops, walk up into tiles and shoot it like through mid, through the archers, through to the Ivy side.
Oh, like
Because then it
in-
blocks off mid and it blocks off Ivy. If you're going for like an A split, you've got all in the mid control, the bend control where you can get a flash to go through and you get in towards Link for like an A split.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
Sorry,
if
you're
the
gonna have to
wall
remind me where
reaches there.
which lane is Ivy, because since I stopped casting, I've cared
So
less about
Ivy
the official names.
is the right little kind of hook L
Mid to A,
mid to A, mid to A.
main,
So
mid to
through
A.
Link,
So
you've
you
got that
can,
little cut bit.
you can. It's
I
just
don't know if it reaches there. I think it does.
No, it does reach it. I don't think the angle is that beneficial from a defensive standpoint. But it is, like, we've talked about how the map in terms of like horizontal length isn't that big, right? Obviously, there's a lot of corners and you have to kind of wrap around a lot, so it takes similar times and rotations. I think that's the case where the wall does go through a lot, like if you just find the lineup. Like I've tested several other ones in terms of basically, like Shyo said, can you get similar value like Split, where you're just constantly pressuring, one part of the map that someone has to stay there, otherwise you're just getting wrecked on a rotate. And she can definitely do that because she can cut up both B main and A main sides like a lot of times for both attack and defense. And then there's cubbies for you to hide every time because there's corners on every single doorway. So I think she has that value. I think though the reason she wouldn't be busted is simply because I would favor Harbor for the flexibility, and at that point, then Shyo, it comes back to, well, Omen could just be just as good and strong depending on style in terms of a secondary. So yeah.
She can
so
do
I
what
think
you're saying, by the way, with Ivy. She can 100% cut it all off. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm just looking at the barrier positions as well, and I might be silly, but I don't really see a lot of good pre-round barrier, like pre-barrier drop walls on attack that Viper would throw, like we're talking about on attack of Haven, for example, or Split, for example. Pre-barrier, you've got a lot of walls that come out, right? I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well, where are these walls going to be strong for a Viper on attacking side?
Split any of B down, and you're able to either walk in or pressure the door or pressure B 24/7. You can also, as soon as you do that B like wall on attack, you get to walk up, clear your main first with a wall drop.
So where are you putting the line though?
Anywhere, like you could just do it from the barrier straight to like a drop, or the drop
so
room.
it cuts off all the B main as well for you to get close enough to drop it and have.
but there's that
bench
extra
angles,
corner.
The bench angles.
But there's an extra corner for the attackers on the far side, so you can stick to the right wall. So you're still getting value in terms of they couldn't have pushed out main, and then you can use your wall again. But I think the important thing is though is it's similar to, like, if you're playing either Cypher or Viper on Split, right? On A main, you can't just take all of it for free at once. But the point is you put it up, you took one step. You put it up again, you took another step. And it's like, I think that pressure forces them to have to either use util or have someone stationed there for the whole round. And I think just that existing and having the ability to mental condition is probably the big part. I mean, it's kind of similar to Haven as well, right? It's like, at most you're taking sewers, but that pressure alone is now forcing someone to have to cover a whole site. So, yeah. So I'm okay with her being like near the top of A, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd say below Sage. Just
I
because
would
Below
say below
Sage?
Sage.
Yeah.
I would almost say below Cypher, but just because Harbor exists on the map.
Nah.
Just
No,
because.
we'll keep her
Keep her
here.
there,
We'll
that's
keep her.
fine.
Okay. Listen, Komodo, I'll let you do it. KO, where are we going? You're a KO
This
player.
map is not a KO map.
All right. See? That low?
Above Sova.
Above Sova. Shyo,
Yeah.
you're deep in thought. Above Sova?
I had like I had a KO set up for this map as well, and I tried playing him back and forth. And Knife is really good at getting just like the general info and helping with
Yep.
fights. I feel like this is a little bit of a KO map just on the fact that it has the tag of brawl, like icebox levels of yes, you could go cerebral
Yeah.
double controller with it, but at the end of the day, if the shooting matters, KO is one of the best I think agents on this map. There's so many little like side walls that jut into Knife that the enemy team
That's
can't
true.
break for mid. Like and the flashes are some of the best there's so many smokes on this map. You get to walk into half of them, flash out. Like I think it's one of the reasons he enables like ISO. He enables some of the other duelists to be so well. Jet like levels up with KO because she can just dash into a cloud burst, firework above you. Happy Canada Day. Like it's going crazy, man. I
Yeah.
would say higher in B at least, but not like a staple. A lot
How
of the
about
time.
how about above Brim? I'm okay with above
Okay,
Brim.
yeah.
I'd say honestly above Vise. I would argue
Yeah.
above Vise because like I love how you guys pointed out that Vise has to like watch her back half the time and that
She
makes her
does.
kind of poor.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Look,
I think KO is gonna get that freedom. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
for those that don't know, KO is my main agent. He's the agent that I've played the most on.
Ah.
Love him to death. In this map, I don't foresee a lot of like S tier setting up your duelist pop flashes in the positions that the like if we're on defense, for example, that the attackers are putting smokes to capitalize upon or to do off barrier drops.
Yes.
There are too many protectants on the barrier drops for the attackers that mitigates a KO. Like some of my favorite pop flashes for a KO, for example, on defense ascent, lobbing it over A main, for your duelist to peek into the whole lane. It destroys them all. Same in towards B. You throw it through the window, it pops, your teammate pushes either with a dash up or straight on the line. Like really strong ones. The Vision Strikers play from way back when in mid, right? There are so many of these really cool pop flashes that can come through. And on this map, I sit there and I'm like, there's a couple.
I mean,
But-
I want to ask though, what about in terms of something like retakes? Because I'm not very well versed with his flash in terms of trajectory, but it feels like he should be able to have good pop flashes up in the sky,
It's-
which would help mitigate the pressure, the stress of the 50-50 angles.
So in like cave, for example, if you're coming through that way to try and retake, you don't have a safe space to be able to throw it out that is going to go out of the map or up of the map without exposing yourself to another angle of danger already. The way that this map is played, for him to actually situate himself, unless like you're flanking and no one's looking at you. There's not a lot of these angles that he's got safety in setting up for that retake. The blade on a
Okay.
couple of the spots is going to be great for clearance. Don't get me wrong, but it's like Shyo said, it's the general concept of where they're going to be. It's not confirmed. The niche thing that'll come from him on this map is if the doors are down, yes, he can put a flash through the hole.
Sure.
Very situational that a teammate's going to be able to capitalize on that because no one's going to like be looking at the door. That's where
Yeah.
they'll catch
I-
them
there-
off guard.
There are a lot of
the choke.
other windows as
So-
well, though, like just sprinkled throughout the map. Actually, I was
Yeah.
surprised to find
Yeah,
out.
like
There's
I
quite
like
a few.
the one into drop is actually kind of nice.
Yeah,
I've seen
exactly.
some good nades thrown through that from razors and slow orbs from sages and stuff. I've seen a good sage boost wall to look over drop from inside the site, which is actually kind of nice too.
Yes.
but-
Sage
but-
boosts
okay.
on this map with an op seemed crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
nice.
the boosts are
yeah.
good. But KO,
Look-
I mean, well, I think we agree just general in B, Vice
Can I
and
argue
KO.
for A? Low A, the lowest of A.
What
I'll
for
accept it.
KO?
Why? because
Yeah.
general info you're using as a negative, which 100% most of the time it is. I would say with some of the spots on this map, getting general info is like getting full scanned. If I'm tossing a knife just for a site and it doesn't even hit box and it scans or it scans and we clear box with another piece of util, knowing someone's on a site, that guy
Yeah.
is fucked and he can't do
True.
anything. Right?
True.
In combination with like, yes, doesn't have the best top pop flashes. Think about how it's used in Breeze though. Right click into long range default left click to enable a duelist afterwards on a common angle. Like you think about the way you want to entry B. And the last thing, null command in general.
Oh, that's
And the
good
reason
on this,
KO's
yeah.
good on maps like Ascent, like Breeze, like Bind sometimes, is they have these choked lanes on defense that Sentinels love playing in. KO just cancels that. You are literally powerless. Yes, you can go from one side to the other. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But like KO's ult, if you use it in B tiles, hits mid and B. If you use it in A, hits Ivy and A. It hits double
Yeah.
time a little bit. So
Because the
I think, yeah, there's a spot in mid because Omen can't smoke coast to coast playing in the yellow part where you planned on sites. He has to play in the links. If you're in mid and you just sit there like Piccolo and ult aura style, you're hitting like every impact spot for abilities. Like, and that's a hella niche thing, but
Yeah, no, I think that's very niche. I think that's the thing, because I feel like it's funny enough, I actually think No Command is the one that doesn't get as nearly as much value out of his entire kit, just because even
It
if
does
you do
reach a
negate
lot, though.
abilities. No, it reaches a lot, but I feel like the times, other than those niche situations where it's like perfectly lined up with what the enemy's playing and the positioning, etc., yes, you got rid of the abilities. It doesn't really lessen a lot of the stress of now still fighting through it, though, right? Because there's so many corners.
Well,
like
how?
you still need to use everything else. You still need to cross check everything, right? It
if they already
doesn't
got-
mitigate.
if they already got a
Yeah.
smoke down at the A main choke, for example, and you're KO ulting on attacking side, you still got a lot of angles that you need to go in and clear. Doesn't matter that they don't have abilities; they can still point and click.
I
It's
think-
a gun game.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's not just that. I think it's the idea that the times when it's useful is when the abilities would have been the stopping factor, or it's empty and the abilities are there just to deter you, right? And that's where something like, and suppress just in general, that's where it shines, is that, well, now we know we can go in, because usually when we see the setup, like, it's empty. But generally you're probably just not playing that way on this map on either attack or post plant, right? It's generally you're probably still having multiple layers to fight, because that's what you have to do to really maximize the time. I that's how I view it for now. Obviously, who knows.
I'm contemplating it like a icebox type situation where like there's always
No,
ramp ups
I
to
get
the fight,
that. I do get that. Yeah.
and KO gets to push the throttle, but I
How
don't
about
mind him
how
at
about
B.
top
I
B?
don't mind him.
How about top
Nah,
B?
I think
then?
Jet's too good. I think he can't be above
Fine.
Jet.
Fine,
Fuck
then
it.
right below
Yep.
Jet. Okay.
Yep.
Let's leave one of each. So let's go with Waylay. Where is Waylay sitting? I am inclined to say like top C, bottom B.
I would say right behind Jet.
I would agree with that because I've seen a lot of good like Waylay plus Phoenix type stuff that has been pretty gnarly. Like I've been destroyed. I was destroying. Waylay is a very fun path changing agent on this map, and the saturate as well, given how many different corners there are to stall them and go a different way, or to again just they slowed, so go in and shoot them. Is really nice. Like the distance she gets off the light speed as well, for the refract back, for defensive aggression in mid, in all the chokes. I think that she is a very versatile agent. I don't think that she'll be a mainstay. But there's always an argument that I could see, like, yeah, Waylay can be kind of nice on this map.
Would you consider Raze above or below Waylay? Just in relativity.
Above.
Okay, so I'm in agreement with that. Shyo, what about you?
Reverse for me. I think at the start of this entire journey of Summit, because we don't know what's the best, Waylay gets so much value, especially on attack. Like we don't like think about Ascent, right? You know general setups on Ascent, and some people are going to be in very powerful spots on either side. They've been figured out. Stairs on B, you can stay back sight. For Waylay, half these rounds you're dashing in, you don't have to refact back because their setup was 1-1-3 this round. We don't know the ample way to play. Like Waylay gets a lot of value on the option of coming back. You ever run it back essentially every single round. Raze, we don't know the best Cypher trips yet. Is Cypher a good agent on this map? Is her utility the best as a counter, right? Of course, Showstopper's amazing. Is dashing in the best option for this map so far? We don't know that either. Waylay does it better, by the way. The ultimate's also more guaranteed with the way sites are set up, in my opinion, right? If you're saying Nightfall's good and Annihilation's good, or what is it called? Armageddon, sorry. I think Waylay then is also good. And as Komodo's saying, path changing, saturation. I think right now, off of not knowing enough on the map, Waylay is strong. The more you discover about it, though, her like greenness fights against her, and she becomes less valuable. And Raze gets so much better knowing where you should be nading, where the good senti spots are, where the good anti-util is.
Yeah, so that's where I stand. because also I get your point about the Waylay ult, but the Waylay ult is much more narrow than some of these other ones, especially compared to Fade, right? So
True.
I think that part is a bit rough. I also just think, like, I don't know how many times you're going to be self-sufficient on your dash, which generally she's just not anymore, right? Just in general, because you have to prep your slow. But I'm just saying there's not many places with cover where you are valuable. Like, that's built cover. Whereas I feel like if it's a raid, you can clear the other side, whether it's with your drone or with your boombot or your nades, to make sure that you can get that initial space, even if you didn't have someone to follow up and trade for you. But I feel like Waylay, and Waylay, I mean, again, that's generally just where she's been pushed into, where it's like you're a sacrificial entry that creates space, and then everyone else is trading for you. But I think just even the creating space type is that I think you have to have a position where the freedom to retreat is refract is good, but you shouldn't have to use it every time. But I feel like here you'd almost be inclined to, right?
Well,
unless you have like the perfect setup.
Then, right? Like, she's ketchup then, and we're checking if we have chicken nuggets or steak on the plate right now, right? If it's chicken nuggets, you want to use the ketchup. If it's steak, what the hell are you doing? Get out of the podcast. So look at the dish. Look at the busted tier. Look at the busted tier. Does it look like chicken nuggets? Are there spots for Waylay all the time usually to be able to find a pocket of chill? Fast lane? Absolutely. Also, wall-based map. Get up like you're Michael Phelps going for a breath in swimming and dump back down. You get to see a lot of information above these walls. In combination with, if Harbor and Omen are being played double controller, shows us a smoke to be able to chill in. Shows us, prowlers from Fade to understand where things are safe. Like Killjoy, Nanoswarms coming in as a lineup too. I feel like Waylay has the catch-up needed for this dish. I don't think things are as refined. Steak side. That's just me though. What do you think?
I mean, well, I had her pretty low among the duelists, so
once you saw that she was ketchup, look at the chicken nuggets.
I mean, once I saw that she was ketchup, I'd put her below Jet. Like,
see, I really like the concept and idea of Waylay on this map. I would think that Raze will do better, but I also think that they might both be not played in favor of other agents. So
true.
So it's irrelevant.
In
a way,
not irrelevant.
No, I know, but for this
relevant.
discussion, I'm saying it's
look,
kind of irrelevant.
I would put them probably like either both at the bottom at A tier, or like Raze maybe slightly above the Jet and the Waylay.
See, I would put Raze above Jet for sure.
Oh yeah,
but I wouldn't put Waylay above Jet. That's basically where I stand.
Okay,
minimum.
So would Raze then go in B at the front, or C or A at the bottom?
The reason I say that is because I think Jet enables you to not always have to have double controller to feel okay fighting.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
And I think that is huge. And it's not even about the comp. If one of them's dead, you still feel like, hey, we can still do this. I can cover one side or I can hide in my smoke. But Waylay's like, if one of your smokes is dead, let's say it's just your harbor, but your wall's already used. It's like, well, good luck. Like, hopefully you win your first fight. You know what I mean? And you can say that that's niche, but I think that flexibility of we can still adjust mid-round and still have similar styles of, executes. We don't have to change the entire thing or have a very specific set play, I think matters a lot in the grand scheme of, potentially 24 rounds. And that's I think generally why Jet will never be out of fashion completely, is just because she has that, comfort and versatility. But I think Waylay would have to have very specific scenarios where it's like, oh, she's like really good on this map to be above Jet, in my opinion.
See, I'd be happy with putting Raze below Sky and Waylay between Jet and KO.
Shyo?
Yeah, I don't mind this at all.
Okay.
It's totally fine. Yeah.
Last but not least, Teo.
This guy's weird for me on this map, to be honest. He's like, I can see him being strong, and I can see him flopping.
Yeah, I want to put him in above Cypher.
You want to be okay?
High. I'm pretty high. This guy has been the bane.
Is it just the fact that he can force corners out and everything? Just that and like I think double innie is a comp that's being overlooked on this map, even though smokes are so good. And if smokes are really good, the double drones,
double drones kind of counters it off the entire way. Biggest thing too, in seeing it, you don't even have to use salvos to attack. The drone gets so much free clearance on how it ramps up coming into the important angles. And the biggest thing, right? Like like Komodo's saying, if you're playing back in art door defense, if you're playing back on double box, you can't see the drone. You can hear it, but some of the
Yeah.
angles defensively, you're never playing close enough. And if you
Yep.
are chamber and you're playing close enough, now you're TPing and your
Yeah.
entire value is gone. So I think it's really strong. If some of these archetypes, by the way, are really good, like, you know, post plant stuff, double innie, he shoots up to busted on the map. I'm still very hopeful for Fade. And if Fade is active, then I don't think you need Teo as much, but he's very strong in his own solo archetype. And this is one of the maps where salvos make a lot of impact, like happen 24/7. I think just like Lotus, like you have so much value in the shapes of these sites and how much this space salvos actually take up. It's really good.
I mean, listen, I'm kind of with Komodo where I'm not quite sure. I haven't tested Teo enough myself either. So I'm fine with kind of riding the hype here from Shyo. I'm fine with that.
Would you play him solo? Because I can't play him solo, right? I've only currently seen him in a solo capacity, and Fade in a solo capacity is just so much better. Like, I could see maybe the Fade and the Teo, or like...
Personally, I would say that...
Go on.
Yeah, personally, I would say that he should always be a secondary initiator, unless you have a very specific composition with something like Teho Brimstone, where
I can see
you blow everything you have to get in, and then Brimstone to delay, like whether it's on a retake or on attack. That's the only way I would see it as a solo initiator.
I can see him being like the secondary guy alongside the most amount of initiators. You know, like I could see him alongside the Fade, the Sky, the Sova, the Gecko. Like I could see him alongside all of them. Even if you're playing him, he might be able to bring Breach out of Do Not Play, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Honestly though, like he is the best second man. He is the best 50 of the 50. All
right.
It's disgusting. Yeah, he has the most prime phase 2 util, post plant util in the world. So
okay, we'll go with that. All right, how do we feel about the overall list?
I'm kind of happy with it.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. If you're
who plays the top, like the busted
this comp.
Who plays that?
Listen. If you play this comp, like I'm fine with it though. That's what I mean. Like, and I think that's what busted should mean though, is that you could just pick that, and it might not have the highest ceiling, but like you're chilling with this comp, and I'm cool with it. Like, it's got all the mainstays I think you need. You know, multiple walls. You've got the Fade. You can check corners. You've got 2 controllers. You've got lockdowns. I think overall it looks good. The real question is who's playing the Do Not Play comp? Who's playing Mixed Deathlock Breach Close?
Those are my auto locks in ranked, man. What are you talking about? That's the comp I have to deal with every day. It's crazy.
Yeah, sprinkling the Reyna there, just push her down.
Me. I'm the Reyna, and then I got the rest of the team with me. It's wild, man.
I would love to see some sort of like creator event or pro like funsies event that would do something like that.
The worst agent, the unplayed agents. Yeah. No, that would be cool.
The one cool thing I have seen though for some of the Do Not Plays, like Mix's ult still is like one of the coolest abilities in the game.
It is cool. It is very cool.
It just sucks that it's on this agent, because I have seen a little bit of Mix on this map. Yeah, he has like an ability that doesn't work, and honestly, I've never seen more enemies healed in this game or in the game than on Summit, because like you'll drop this thing down and it's in such neutral space that like you'll light someone 140 and then your Mix is healing them. Like, it's crazy. But yeah.
All right. Well, there's our tier list. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening, you can check it out afterwards on YouTube. You can see the full list. Let us know down in the comments below what you think, and let us know if you think somebody should be bumped up or bumped down. But do remember, this is mostly in a team setting, not your ranked games. I think that would look a little bit different. Now, originally we were planning on showcasing a couple comps that we had. Now, this took a lot longer, but I thought it was really good discussions. I still want to touch upon them. So I want you guys to tell me what you kind of came up with coming in. Now, Shyo, I know you have quite a lot. Which I want to listen to. So, Komodo, let's check out yours first, and then we can get to it. Now, let me just bring up the board so that I can show it, and then
sure.
I can lay it out for people. So here we go.
At the flat space. So I had funnily enough, I had Omen Harbor, and then Sova / Fade, Waylay / Jet, and Raze.
Sova / Fade.
So interchangeables.
And who was the other one?
Raze is the main duelist in there, and then Waylay / Jet.
Waylay / Jet.
So I was going for the double duelist, double controller. So no Senti, because the Harbor and the Omen kind of pick up the slack in that and their versatility across the map and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that pool. I didn't go too deep into this because I did run out of a little bit of time.
Sure.
The other comp though, just that I wanted to touch upon while you've got these here, I actually think Paper Rex's Sunset comp would be quite nice on this. So that's Omen, Viper, Sage, Sova, Raze, and you could technically switch out the Viper for the Harbor if you wanted to. But the main thing was the Omen, the Sage, the Raze, and then the Sova maybe you put Envy on the Fade instead, and that Viper / Harbor. I think the concept of having that alongside like as a comp to integrate the Sage on this map is a neat kind of thing that from what we've been discussing all this evening.
So, just run me through real quick. Let's talk about the original one and I think this is somewhat self-explanatory given our tier list, but what about this? Like, what is it covering for the map? Like, what needs is it providing for us?
So for me, it covers the basic necessities of good information gathering across all the different sides of the map, whether it be from the fade specifics, the jump spotting ability, Harbor with the Storm Surge as well, and checkpointing your opponents as well with the stall ability. I think for me, that's one of the really big things on a map like this from what I've seen so far. There's a tendency for teams to try and press the issue faster than it feels like that they can almost handle at the moment. So being able to have the Seize available, the Storm Surge available, the Paranoia, the Nade, it kind of covers a lot of bases no matter what sort of default you might be playing on attack or on defense. It is just covering, like, for me, majority of the kind of components. You've got your smokes, you've got your flashes, you've got your nades, you've got your drones. Like, you kind of have every like piece that you want. So I'm letting that sink in.
Just a quick question then. What is it about Jet Waylay? Why Raze is the main duelist? I guess that might help answer my questions.
So from what I've seen on the flip side is a lot of these angles, if there are Sentinel comps being run, she's a good counter to breaking a bunch of this utility and being able to get over some of it as well in a sort of pseudo secondary capacity. If you don't want your Jet updrafting or your Waylay dashing over, she's still capable of going in with that that aggressiveness and that pressure building. But also, like, again, stalling action is really good from her. Info clearing is good from her from the Boombot as well. And for me, with the Raze, there was another point. The splash damage that the paint shells come out just with anywhere. If they're running Sentinel, if they're not running Sentinel, like, they explode in a couple of these chokes, you're getting some damage in. You're forcing them to be uncomfortable. Like, on the side itself, any angle around this A site, any angle around this B site, she can be substituted to go first or second. It doesn't really matter. She has a lot of different capabilities style-wise and how players play the Raze as well. Double satcheling in, going in with the team and not bopping them with your own satchels, using them for, spike denial as well. She's just a really versatile agent that, to be honest, has kind of annoyed me going up against on this map a little bit. So that's why she's there as well.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. And then you just have someone else to help cover the other angles or just follow up just as quickly. All right, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think our tier list kind of also just explains why, in general, this would be playable and perfectly fine. So double duelist, double controller. All right, Shyo, you've cooked up quite a few. Lay it on us.
I have. Okay, so there's like the post-plant cringe comp. We were talking a lot about like phase 1, phase 2, but you've got Teho, Brim, Sky, Neon, and Killjoy. On defense.
Killjoy. Okay.
Yeah, defense very explainable. Your util kind of covers a lot of like the early round stuff, but on retake you still have so many more options. Like, you've got nanoswarms for the mains, KJ for a lot of the info. You got salvos to interrupt as well, like NRG Pearl kind of style is how you can also run in the beginning. Yes, it lacks a bit more of the scan as to where people are, but from the patterns I've seen on this map, it is very hard to hide your intentions because you're usually just at like a precipice to where you need to use util to start the clear. So you rely on your attackers doing that a lot, and if they stop doing that, then the op from Neon becomes a problem if you want to slot into that to punish people just walking up. So defensively, that's all bases covered. On attack, you can already see the vision. You've got like, the drone, first of all, the double drones to cover whatever site you want to go to if you want to put them both in the same way. You can split with double drones and have the threat of that coming in. As soon as you find a way on a site, the round is over. Like, the walls in this map that fall down just cut 10 seconds immediately off your retake on how much you have to clear. 10 might be an exaggeration, maybe 5. It's like an extra molly, like not having the option to come in from some of these walls. Going around all of Ben for A, going around entire, going to drop and trying to clear that off. KJ's got 10 seconds of stall. Then you got Teho coming in afterwards as well. You have Neon to like delay with some chaos if she still has stun up from the attack and she hasn't used it. Fastlane, by the way, to drop the walls and get in the sights for you with the double drone. And the drones I've chosen are fast enough to actually work with Neon. You don't always have to. Trailblazer, I feel like, is too slow for Neon, but the Teho drone with Neon is an amazing solution, especially with Fastlane as well. They've taken away B hopping from Neon. They haven't taken away the in and out B hop of the drone. Like, you can still use that to gain a lot of information and really press people down. But I faced this comp in ranked. I'm not sure if I was facing a 5-stack or not. Dude, once they touch sight, brim smokes, you just can't walk through them. It's impossible. It feels so bad to do so if you don't have the tools. It is so hard to break down, but that's one of them. And yeah,
Okay.
you touch sight, it's the side of death. What do you guys think about this one?
Can I ask something though on this
Yeah.
one? Because we are usually a Pacific broadcast. What Pacific team would you envision running something like this?
G.
Civic team that runs this, like GE, I'm thinking like maybe even RRQ if they want to run it
I
this
was
way.
thinking RRQ, but then I was thinking, where are you
RRQ?
putting Monyet on this
Monyet.
comp?
Well, but the reports are that it's Zan now. Well, no, Zan's official.
Zan is official, but
Yeah.
who's
I thought the reports were saying that Monyet was getting benched. I think that
That's-
hasn't been official yet, but that was part of the
Yeah.
initial report.
Well, because Zan is more often than not the smokes player, right? So does that mean?
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it would just-
him on
yeah, it would just be
smokes,
that.
and then
Yeah.
it's Crazy Guy and Cushy on the inits. It's Xfero on the Killjoy, and then it's Jemkin on the. Hey, that could work.
Yeah.
I
I did
Nongshin
say
maybe
that
could
the
run this too.
initiator buffs earlier on was great for RRQ, so let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But where
Okay.
would you see Francis playing? What Asian would Francis play if this comp existed and they weren't going double duelist?
For Nongshim,
Yeah.
Francis would probably. I mean, it would be Teho or Sky.
Or
It depends
Sky,
on. It does depend on, obviously, for the
Plays Sky,
EWC.
so-
Well, yeah, he's played both, but the thing is it just depends on. They've tried a couple changes again for EWC qualifiers, right? Where supposedly Francis was IGLing, so it just depends on if he's still IGLing while being second in line, or if he's kind of the setup guy. So, but I think him
Yeah.
and X-Ross are both so flexible that.
Hold
They
on a
could-
second.
they could
Hold
do
on a
that.
second. Morgan isn't here. Are you saying that we're putting Danby back on the neon?
I mean, maybe they could. Wait, but what if X-Ross is playing the neon? All right. So, okay. No, I mean, I would actually like to see someone play something like this, right? Like a very
Yeah.
heavy post plant. It's a bit cheesy, but it might not work for a whole tournament, but especially in league play, bring it out 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, get a couple of
Yeah.
those free wins. And then you get through. I can see it because I get what you're saying about the brim smokes. Because if it's hard to get in and clear everything, then it's hard to do that on the flip side as well. So I'm
it
with that.
solves A's problem as well of not having the best post plan positions. And for B,
Yes.
if you want to use everything to take the site, it is a sunset style site where a lot of the post plan spots you can just spam from main. So
Yep.
there's 2 layers to this in terms of approaching. I can give you now the Shyo wager composition that you can just
Okay.
dissect and tell me is horrible.
All right.
okay.
The
I call this
Shyo
comp-
comp.
Always fighting. This is like my dream using all the
This
low
is gonna
tiers.
have ISO in it.
Yeah, this is Chamber, ISO, KO, Omen, and Veto.
Wait, Chamber, ISO, KO,
Yes,
And then Omen
Omen.
Veto.
and
Omen, Veto. Yeah. So the
Okay.
idea for this
Lay it on me.
composition is, first of all, defensively, you've got like 2 god tier trips that are global. So you can just put them down, choose where you want to actually activate on the map, and
Okay.
fight there. You feel me? You can double them up on one of the sites and keep like Chamber ISO if you or isolated if you want. I can't say ISO now because he's part of the comp. But the biggest thing with this one is no matter what utility they have, you always have a contingency. Or I don't know, you have the undercut or you have the blade to be able to stop it and play on your terms, which are more buffed because you have a shield. So you have like insane suppression in that sense, theoretically, on defense on some of these angles, and the lines are very good for it, right? On attack, I think it's just amazing at taking space once you kind of almost have it, and you can always pop flash through your Omen smokes as well. It's a very middle heavy comp in terms of where you want to go, leaving trips on both sides of the map, and then through conditioning, slamming as well on ecos. Like, it's a very good anti-eco comp with ISO as well. But the reason it's a KO ISO in combination is you're really abusing the factor of enemies having lots of smokes. You are really kind of, it's almost an anti-meta type of strat where like you're pop flashing through a lot and you have an ISO that has the higher likelihood of winning a fight with the shield on, right? Like you can shield and people will look at the smoke, into a pop flash that kind of trips them up entirely. And ISO has so much space to be able to do that in middle. Like there's a lot of free space to take or smokes to fight them through all the time. Yes, it's very hard to get through A, it's very hard to get through B, but contingency allows you to do a lot of things with that. And then on defense, Vito, the reason that he's part of this composition is no matter what's happening on either side of the map, he's very good at quickly bolstering numbers. And then again, you're always fighting. Your rifles are out, your utils down, you're fighting. There's smokes, you're spraying through these smokes. If it's a util heavy comp, evolution is amazing. It's all X factor, always fighting. What are our thoughts on the cook?
I'm just wondering who's going to play this if it's not GE.
T1.
T1.
I mean,
and DH, by the way, has been formed to be a duelist. They put him back in the melting
they put him
pot,
back in.
and he has been fighting inside tier 2, and that team is crazy anyways. I don't even know why Stacks is being benched. I'm not sure you guys saw the news this morning.
The report,
today were
Yeah,
Stacks being
like-
benched. Yeah.
But if DH is coming up and they're trying to go more towards like these fightier comps, so they want to keep their style of like, you know, still having anyways.
Dude, T1. I mean, listen, I'd love to see T1 try to play
Hashtag T1 fighting, man. That's what I'm saying. It
Let's
could be the
put
way.
this comp against the comp of agents that we said are the do not plays and see like how that goes.
The one comp I actually want to get your take on, which is
Yeah.
interesting, is the prime time icebox comp, but put on Summit. So I'm talking about
Gecko KO?
Gecko, Harbor,
Harbor,
not
KO,
KO.
Viper.
Oh, not
yeah.
KO.
not KO. So Gecko, Harbor, Viper, Waylay, Sage is my take
Viper.
on this one.
Okay.
So this is
After
Icebox
Waylay.
on Summit.
Okay, post Waylay stuff.
Post, yeah.
Okay. I see. So,
Hmm.
okay, so we got Waylay, you've got Gecko, and then Harbor, Viper, Sage.
Yes. Sage on defense for me, like we talked about it during the agent tier list, she can by herself for 45 seconds, in my opinion, slow down a site. Like she can really, maybe not, okay, 45 is crazy, but if the enemy team is also doing their own protocols, you can literally for 40 seconds really slow down an entire side of the map. If they're playing super fast, 20 seconds of delay at least. Like it's insanity.
I just feel like if you're getting up all the walls and everything, you don't have purpose drone to like clear stuff to not be susceptible when you're trying to facilitate your Waylay getting through, or like
Dizzy.
are you forcing the Dizzy and the Wingman to go through just to like allow her to dive in?
Well, I think so. In my head, I figured the idea would be, I mean, somewhat similar to how it was on Icebox, is that Waylay is part of the throwables.
Yeah,
when
She is
you're
the
so
sixth
she goes
Pokemon.
in
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, she's the Pokemon. When you're
comes back.
executing, it's Dizzy plus Wing or Waylay, where you now have to choose between. I mean, and it's a similar concept to the whole Gecko KO of you can shoot one, but you can't hide from the other, right? And like you're screwed either way, so you have to bail or just maybe you get one, but if you're traded and it's a crucial spot, then now you have to deal with the post plant. So I can see that. I can see it. I mean, I'm okay with this. I obviously I made the arguments against Waylay earlier, and that's kind of what Komodo is bringing up. So that's where I stand. But at the very least, this does use Waylay in like the prime way of how she's designed. Of I am also part of the distraction and space creator, and so I'm okay with that, because then the idea would be if you have 3 out of these 4 alive, let's say Waylay somehow dies. And in fact, actually, as long as you have 3 out of any of them, the delay is really good. So in post plant, in post plant, it's very good. And then if you have a good default layout, then you can still delay just as much, while Harbor and or Viper can help control mid, so you can have faster rotates. So
why does
I
it
can
come
see
into
that.
my head that I feel like I look at this and I don't know why. I just think KRX could do this. It's like
Derek's could, yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of a weird sort of thought.
They could and they won't, I think.
Oh no,
I
no,
think
no.
I mean it's one of those things where it's like player style versus team style, right? I just feel like KRX as a team would never play something like this. They're just not that type of team.
Yeah.
They're such an honest team. Not to get sidetracked, but they're such an honest team. But yeah, I mean, listen, I can see this as like if it's comfort for you, some teams could lean into this as their main comp, even if it's not the comp to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get
I feel
behind
like
that.
China leads into this for some reason, because they love theory crafting a gecko at the very start of
Yeah.
maps, especially when they have the opportunity. And then there's some NA coaches that are also obsessed with like letting gecko work with Sage a lot of
Yeah.
the time. Like
Yeah.
when Harbor's prevalent, gecko creeps up, and if Sage
Yep.
is also good, this trifecta ran an entire map. Like I've never seen a comp run a map before. I think Icebox's next ascent of having a default, right? Compared to
correct.
every other map in the world.
Yeah.
Like so
And then that A site is just 12 in a row. Don't care
Yeah.
about B. 12 in a
Yeah.
row.
So originally I had something different prepped, but just to tag on to this and then we can wrap it up. What if in my head I'm thinking you could just put in the raise here instead of the waylay and go the
Yeah.
age-old waylay
I
gecko?
feel like you can.
Yeah,
I
and
think that last slot is a definitive flex. Like
it could also be, yeah.
Yeah, like in Icebox, it'd be Jet a lot of the time, like
Yeah.
depending on how the map rolls. Like
Mhm.
Raze, I think is said to be one of the best agents on this map.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it's
Mm.
yeah, I think you're right on this one.
Okay, cool.
And don't forget, if Paper Rex are going to have Forsaken play Gecko, possibility Gecko on Summit.
True. This is actually a very. If you have Raze slotted into this one, this could be the Paper
Actually.
X comp. Like,
Well, you
Genuinely.
got to
genuinely.
remember, they said they'd play it if they made champs, and they've already made champs no matter what. So time to, knock off the rest of the agents on the list.
They
Yeah.
could actually.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yep, this could happen.
And
Yeah.
As a
Or
side
what-
note, by the way, the map pool right now, 13 maps. Haven's been in for 2 years.
Yep.
Fracture was in for 2 months. Can we?
Yep.
I'm fine with
we
that.
gotta.
They
I'm
just
fine with
wanted
it.
to nerf 100 Thieves, man. They just wanted to nerf 100 Thieves for London. That's my great.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Now, just as a
Hmm.
teaser for anyone watching and listening, what I was originally I was thinking of a Harbor Viper, but I figured that was just too commonplace. So I had an Astra in mind. I won't go into too much detail, but Astra as a kind of anchor on B side defense, similar to Haven, how you would play her on C side instead of A, where if you played Omen, you would usually want to prefer to have the Omen on the A side to actually fight. And that would be with the Harbor. So that was an idea I had. I just think Harbor gets so much flexibility that you really can flex around a second controller if you wanted to play double controller, because Harbor
Yeah.
can help
That's,
control mid. He can help the executes. In fact, I think Harbor is kind of the controller to play executes
Yeah.
on, because 2 orb smokes is kind of tough, honestly. So
If I think Astra on this map, I think immediately G2 gonna do something with an Astra, gonna pilot it like they have.
and then they'll get crushed by the
past,
door, and then they'll
Yeah.
like the Abyss Pioneers jumping off the map.
Yeah.
We'll
Yep,
see.
yep.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I tinkered with, just on the attacking side, similar. You can just be the lurker where Harbor can help set up, the executes at that point. But that was more of I think I wanted to vouch for Astra. Not that I think she's top tier, but I think she can be quite viable as a secondary controller. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm very
Sure.
curious though, but I think the bottom line is it's a good map, a fun map at least to theory craft and build craft around, and we'll see what the meta settles into. Hopefully teams actually play it and hone it in time for champs instead of just hiding it and then one team having the answer at champs only, because that would be
We'll see.
the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to be it for this week. Maybe, if people like this, let us know down in the comments below. Maybe we can do more of this kind of, diving into comps and agents. And then, you can tweet us as well or join any of our streams and let us know. But before we hop off, of course, every week we have our personal picks of the week. So, Komodo, we'll start with you this week. Let's see if you've got it narrowed down to one.
Shout outs to the players who have not made an international event before, finally making an international event to represent their country. Shout outs to all of them. I know we don't cover
Okay.
that event at the moment, but shout outs to them.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fair.
And I know you guys always tease me about only having one thing or more than one thing, but this week I kind of feel like I have to. Shout outs GE. Everyone knows why.
Yeah, I mean, for really filling in the time that everyone was about to lose their mind, and they were like, "Oh, don't worry, we got you covered." All right, Shyo, what have you got for us?
I'm letting you go first. I'm still cooking. You got.
Oh, all right, all good.
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to Sufat BB, returning to a starting roster on Tai Lu, and I'm a big Tai Lu believer, and this only bolsters my belief in them. Coming in as a now very experienced IGL, I would consider, makes me very excited. So every reason to get more interest into CN, and also just great characters and players like Sufat BB. I also just think obviously kind of a tough tough path since the high that he had on Wolves. It's been quite rocky, but good to see him, back on his feet. So looking forward to how he does in stage 2.
Very cool. We're gonna be shouting out players. I wanna shout out Vic. We're gonna take these things all the way across the pond. Who's swinging tier 2 right now, having some crazy success individually.
Yeah.
Popping off like 4Ks to aces back to back to back. And I think it was just very fun casting over and watching him play. There's a clear, I think, distinction between some of the players that have experience and some of the up and comers. And then, man, I've actually been watching a bit of challengers and like just Pacific as well. And I just want to say shout out to Jet the Agent and how much Pacific has taken this agent. And I have to tell, I don't remember players' names as much. I think Vera is someone I was also looking at watching a lot. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. Yeah,
Vera's a very good Jet. Yeah,
it's insane seeing some of the things that these guys are doing on Breeze specifically as the map, which I feel like I've vaunted so much. But shout out to the Jet players in Challenger specific. Shout out to you.
Man, who would have thought? Who would have thought that we'd come around to Jet players? Who would have thought we'd come around to celebrating Jet players? We really have come a long way here in Valorant. But awesome. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that also is just a reminder that even if tier 1 events are kind of on a short break, there's plenty to care about and plenty to watch. And we were talking about it right before the show. We started the recording here, but challengers, I think in most regions have been getting better and better as well. So if you're really just fiending for like competitive play, team play, seeing people improve and seeing who's up and coming, if you want to be that first guy on Reddit that says like, well, I've been vouching for this guy, and you can quote your comment from like 2 years back, you want to be watching challengers. You don't want to be a bandwagoner. So go check it out. Go support your regional challenger leagues. Obviously, things are going to change next year, but this is a reminder that you should therefore, probably care about the open qualifiers next year as well. It kind of goes hand in hand. So that's just a quick reminder. We'll, of course, update you guys on all of that moving forward as well. But Shyo, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's very, very early. Actually, the listeners are just about to find out that I totally goofed up, and I thought Shyo was on the West Coast, so I gave him a 3-hour earlier call time. And so he woke up 3 hours earlier and still just soldiered through, told me it was all good. It didn't make me feel as guilty. I still feel like an absolute piece of crap. But Shyo, thank you. I'll give you the floor to give any shout outs you want.
No, for me, I think your message was correct. It's just because you're in Pacific and then you said Pacific time, and the Pacific like grayed out for me. Like it canceled out, And I was like, oh, it's going to be 4 a.m. That's totally fine. It's Korea. It makes sense. I don't know about time zones, but I had a good time. Caught up on a few more players. We're going to be talking about roster changes soon a little bit more. Caught up on Dave the Diver. Shout out Dave the Diver. Older game. I think one of the better ones in the world. Not going to lie. And yeah, thank you for having me. It was awesome. Hope I'm on more.
Yeah, are you streaming pretty regularly these days, or have you just been busy with challenges and other things?
Streaming a lot. Yeah, variety right now, but a lot of Valorant rank 2. Like everything. If you have a game, let me know. I'll stream it. Everything past Diablo, because that's your, the ARPGs you have a lockdown on, I think, in the scene right now. But past that, yeah, streaming a lot.
Awesome. Yeah, so go check out Shyo Wager on Twitch. Go join his stream as well. And of course, once when VCT starts again, all of us will be watch partying all the different regions as well. So you can stay tuned for that. But once again, reminder, we are on Spotify. So if you want to listen to us on the road or on the jog, whatever you might be doing, you can find us on Spotify. But otherwise, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much. Make sure you go and subscribe to all of our channels as we continue to put out content. And we will be back next week with more Perfect Read. Have a good one.